live on Fox Sports Chicago. It's the matchup of the year, the Illinois High School Class 5A State Championship between the Celtics of Providence High School and the Mount Carmel Caravan. Welcome back to Illinois State University, Hancock Stadium here in Normal. You don't have to be a parent or an alum to want to see this game. It could be the most anticipated final in the 25-year history of the state tournament. Hello, everybody. Along with Coach Jack McInerney, I'm Mike Lederman. Two dynasties going at it today. 11 state championships between them. It's got to start with the coaches. Matt Steffner for Providence, Frank Lenti for Mount Carmel.
Frank Lenti's record at Mount Carmel over 15 years, 171-24. Frank already has 5 state titles and 2 seconds. His playoff record, is 48-7. On the other side of the coin, you have Matt Steffner at Providence for 31 years, 223 regular season wins, 40 wins in the playoffs. A great programs on both sides.
These two teams did meet for the first time earlier this season. Mount Carmel won in overtime. They are led on offense by Jim Smith and Octavius Bond.
Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside. They both come up. The threat on the inside with Jimmy Smith, 1,200 yards rushing, and they have the speedster on the outside, Octavius Bond, with over 500 yards pass receiving. He's the threat outside.
Well, Providence certainly has something to prove today. Their quarterback, Kirby, as well as their outstanding running back, Justin Ruggio, they will carry the load on offense.
Well, you're looking at 4,000 yards between the two players. Ruggio had 2,000 last year as a junior, has 1,800 right now as a senior, and the quarterback, Kirby, has almost 2,000 yards passing. They really have a diversified offense. It's going to be a wide-open ball game.
Well, everybody wants to get this one underway, including our buddy Mitch Robinson, who's roaming the sidelines. Let's check in with him.
Thanks, Mike. I can hardly wait to see this one. This is one we've been building up to. Two great teams. It's going to be very exciting. But first, you got to find out who's playing. And to do that, well, we have to kick it up to PA announcer Jeff Fritzen. He'll have today's starting lineups for both clubs. Jeff?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineups for the Class 5A State Championship. First, for Chicago Mount Carmel, head coach Frank Lenti. Our starting defense for the Caravan. At nose guard, number 97, Derek Strong. At tackle, number 61, Matt Pietrovich. At tackle, number 69, Terrence Johnson. At linebacker, number 53, Brendan Curran. At linebacker, number 60, Dan Casanto. At linebacker, number 43, Dan Turney. Linebacker, number 47, Jerry Schumacher. Defensive back, number 35, Robert Richardson. At defensive back, number 44, Kareem Timbers. At defensive back, number 49, Jeremy Wallace. And at safety, number 4, Seamus Huron. And now for New Lenox Providence, head coach Matt Steffner. Starting on offense for the Celtics, at tight end, number 89, Jordy Curtin. At left tackle, number 78, Tom Lenahan. At left guard, number 62, George Deaton. At center, number 69, Cameron Rickler. At right guard, number 64, Nick Corey. At right tackle, number 71, Pat Riley. At quarterback, number 16, Jim Kirby. Halfback, number 11, Justin Ruggio. At flanker, number 7, Lance Lokank. Fullback, number 44, Matt Warren. And at split end, number 21, Brandon Johnson.
All right, so how'd these two teams get here? Well, they've done it like they always do it. Very nice, impressive fashion. As we take a look at the road to Normal, first we look at Providence and their playoff record over Niles Notre Dame at 28-19 when they shut out Hubbard, they shut out Eisenhower, and then they beat Bolingbrook, a tough team, 17-13. As far as Mount Carmel, the Caravan rolling on to their road to Normal. It was over Argo, a blowout, 57-8. A nice win over Bloomington, a nice win over Cary Grove, and then a very impressive win over Champaign Sentinel, 42-14. Now, you may have seen Coach Sempner put on a hat. That's got to be for good luck. It is gorgeous out here. The sun is starting to set. Not much of a wind, a little northerly breeze, but it is 68 degrees, 14 miles per hour at a gust. Officials in this game also, Jerry Frump, your referee, Richard Grubb, your linesman, and Thomas McCabe, the line judge. Your field judge, Terry Piper, and Mark Trella, your umpire. Nothing more to do than kick it off. Let's send it up to Mike and Jeff.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Mount Carmel in their traditional brown jerseys. They are designated the home team in the Kelly green and the white tops. Will be Providence. Your deep men, Pat Flynn, number 9, as well as Brandon Johnson, number 21, awaiting the kick from Matt Petrovich. Petrovich, a junior, has kicked off 79 times. Nearly 50 have gone for touchbacks. A very, very strong leg. Both sides of the 14,000 capacity Hancock Field are filled. It is frenzy time here for the 5A title. We are underway. This will be Flynn at the 10. Going back and quickly. Schumacher for Mount Carmel, putting the brakes on Pat Flynn as he tried to circle back. We'll take a look at the Providence offense now, led by Jim Kirby, the quarterback. He is a senior. Ruggio, he is the main back. Matt Warren, more of a blocking back at fullback. Curtin, the tight end. Lance Lokank and Brandon Johnson, a basketball player in the other season. Lenahan, Deaton, Richler, Corey, and Riley at 280 is the biggest lineman. So from their own 11, Lokank goes in motion. Kirby quickly hands it up to Ruggio, and Justin Ruggio tries the left side. Brendan Curran meets him. The linebacker is 6'0", 205 for a gain of about 3. Petrovich, the defensive tackle. Derek Strong on the nose. There's a story there we'll tell you in a bit. Terrence Johnson, the other down lineman. In the 5-2 alignment, your outside linebackers, Schumacher and Turney. Watch Schumacher specifically. Huron, Wallace, Timbers, and Richardson. There's the defensive secondary. Call it a gain of 3. 2nd and 7. And they send the tight end Curtin over on the other side. Again, it's Ruggio as flags go down to the 15-yard line. Matt Petrovich makes the stop, but there was a penalty flag down, several in fact.
We've got a little testing going on up front. They're both kind of feeling each other out on the offensive and defensive lines. Nobody wants to make a big mistake down in this area. An illegal shift, so that'll cost 5 yards if Mount Carmel accepts the penalty. And there's the referee, Jerry Frump from Naperville. Let's hear his call.
An illegal shift by the offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Got a good shot right here. You can see the fullback shifting back over. You can see some movement right there, and it's just a stand-up right here. We're just trying to see what we're doing up front, and there's not a lot of movement by the Mount Carmel defense at this point.
Passing situation, but a dangerous one from inside their own 10-yard line. 2nd down, call it 12. And they give quickly to the short back. This is Kevin Rigsby who's getting a carry. Rigsby, a 195-pound junior, gets in for maybe a yard or so. Brendan Curran on the stop again, along with Dan Turney, the outside linebacker. There are Rigsby's numbers. He and Warren split that fullback spot, and you see him with the protective helmet that goes over the original equipment. That obviously is for additional head protection. You see several NFL players used to wear it. I think among them Harris Barton of the 49ers, but it is growing popularity and helps absorb shock. So 3rd and 9, and as the play clock runs down, a delay being called against Providence. So far, Frank Lenthy and company have done a good job bottling up the Celtics.
Dead ball, delay a game against the offense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
Well, you know that the opening kickoff sets the tempo oftentimes, and you saw what happened. Schumacher comes down and makes a big hit on the kickoff, and now Providence is coming out of their own end zone. It's a tough way to operate to start out a state championship game.
A couple of penalties right off the first series. So 3rd down and 14. End split right and left. Ruggio the setback. They throw it to the flat to Lokang, and it's complete to Lokang, and he has first down yardage or close to it. Nice play by Lokang. Jeremy Wallace and Kareem Timbers, actually. Timbers on the defense. And you see a sea of green cheering. An excellent play to get the first down yardage.
This is a timing route. He's throwing the ball. The receiver has not even turned. You can see he turns back. It's underthrown just a tad, but he picks up the first down. Nice throw and catch.
So Providence with a good play to get out of the shadow of their own goal line. They are working north to south. The lights are on here at Hancock Stadium. As we told you, temperatures hovering near 70. Since neither team has two-way players, it should not be a factor. But can you imagine worrying about heat in November here? Quick flip outside. Once again, it's Lokang, and he gets 7 yards. Timbers on the stop. And the aerial show starts to go for Providence.
Well, they have that versatility to be able to throw the ball a little more than Mount Carmel. And this is nothing more than a quick screen out here. You can see the other receiver blocks for him. They throw it to the inside receiver, and then the outside receiver blocks the man that was assigned to the pass receiver.
This series started inside the 10-yard line for Providence. They are now 2nd and 4 from the 28. Ruggio fighting his way across the 30. He will be close to a first down. Kareem Timbers again on the stop. And they will move the chains, or they may take a measurement here. Timbers at 6'1", 185-pound junior, has got 1 interception, 39 tackles on the season. And yes, that is Matt Seffner's lucky hat. Going back to his parish, St. Martin's, you see it there. And Matt, of course, has had to wear a lot more heavy clothing in previous championships. The last 4, to be sure.
That coach next to him is Dave Ernst, who is the offensive coordinator and calls the plays for Providence's offense.
It's 1st and 10, Lokang and Johnson. Receivers to the right. Play fake by Kirby, and Kirby's got room. And Kirby out of bounds as he nears the 40-yard line. Kirby chased out by Schumacher.
Wise decision by Jim Kirby to get out of bounds on that play. Going into the short side of the field, he really didn't have anywhere to go. Both receivers were covered very well by Mount Carmel's defenders, so he does the smart play. Rather than force the ball, it gets a few yards and runs out of bounds.
Opening drive of the game. Providence has had the ball. Nearly 3 minutes on the clock already. Again, receivers to the right. Lokang in the slot. Kirby to Ruggio. And Ruggio met by a caravan of caravans. Derek Strong, Pietrovich, Johnson, all putting the clamps on Justin Ruggio. Short gain.
Just a little power play off tackle. You can see the wide receiver coming in the block on the linebacker, but they don't get too far. Mount Carmel's got a very strong defensive front, and not many teams have been able to run on them all season.
And Brendan Curran helps out too. The 8th play of the drive, and they're still inside their own 40. There are Ruggio's numbers for the season. 2,000 yards and 97. Ruggio again looking for the first down yardage. Again, he is close. Providence doing an excellent job of ball control after that key 3rd down completion to Lokang.
As the game goes along, we'll notice, the fans at home will notice where the fullback lines up. Matt Warren, number 44, the fullback for Providence, does not normally line up in a normal fullback position. He will get in behind the line of scrimmage, right behind an offensive lineman. And what that does is it adds another lineman for Providence's running game.
Just to correct Matt Seffner's lucky hat, it's from St. Mary Nativity. But the drive runs out of steam, and Seamus Haran will go back into single safety as Dunn will punt. And Mount Carmel should get the ball, but first we'll get another penalty just to run the clock down. A delay of game. And now Wilson will go back into deep coverage.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Mount Carmel's taking advantage of this to get some subs in here. They could be going to put some pressure on him. Got a good strong wind into the punter's face, kind of a crosswind, but they made about 4 substitutions on this particular play. Mount Carmel could be going for the block here.
Flynn averaging 31 yards a punt. will kick it away from his own 25. High snap. Gets it away, and it's a nice kick, but Stein quickly and wisely letting it go was Wilson across the 30-yard line. Down in there by Ben Bowman of Providence. A 34-yard punt, no return, and after 4 minutes of waiting, the Caravan will go on offense, led by their quarterback, Brad Cozzie, and we told you the halfback, Jim Smith, Ted Bolden, the other halfback, in the two-back set, back from an injury. Gildeen, Wilson, and Octavius Bond. Bond, the key receiver here for that team. Miller, Young, Morfa, Dillon, and Magaro, mix of seniors and juniors, and they are large as well, as you would expect in the Catholic League. And quickly the handoff on the quick hitter trying the right side is Ted Bolden, and Bolden, number 34, brought down by Eric Bono, and we'll show you the defense for the Celtics. Miles, Bono, Lackney, and Pasolano, who is small but very agile, causes a lot of havoc at the nose guard. Also Raddick, and watch Brendan Kavanaugh, one of the outside linebackers. The secondary, Godfrey Patain, Shane Summers, and the strong safety Ben Bowman. Our Country Company's lineups for you here on Fox Sports Chicago. Only a gain of 1. The two-back set. They'll run it off the veer. Cozzie the quarterback, and once again the handoff to Teddy Bolden, and Bolden again short yardage. Good pursuit there by Lackney, who leads the charge for the Celtics.
Mount Carmel's trying to feel them out in formation here. They went to a slot on one side and a split to the other. And what happens with that early on is the spotters upstairs get a chance to see the adjustments that the defense makes to various formations. You try to do this early on in the first series so you can get an idea of where you want to go when you start running your offensive plays as far as what is a good formation to run against that defense.
First passing situation here as Wilson splits out one of the receivers. 3rd and 6. And before the play is snapped, there's a delay of game, this time against Mount Carmel. Frank Lenti not happy with that. There's his play card.
Ball. Delay a game against the offense. 5 yards. 3rd down.
Well, several penalties in the opening 5 minutes. You can see 4 already. That was the first against the Caravan. So instead of 3rd and 6, 3rd and 11, ball back on the 29-yard line. Bond out to the right. And taking it is Cozzie, pitches it back to Smith. And Jim Smith well short of a first down. As a good effort on the part of Providence. Shane Summers knocking him out of bounds.
Here's the option, to fake to the dive man to freeze the linebackers. Cozzie going down the line. Running into the short side of the field, pitches the ball. Not a lot of room to run. That's a tough play going to the short side of the field when you're running the option.
Something like running back always likes to see, getting a pitch with 3 defensive men right in front of him. Pietrovich will shift into punt formation. Johnson will be back deep along with Flynn for the Celtics. Pietrovich gets a boomer away into the wind. Johnson back on his own 10, can't handle it cleanly. And Johnson gets up across the 15-yard line. And he is snowed under. Excellent punt. 57-yarder. So no score here in the first quarter. We'll be back. Let's take a break right now. There's Frank Lenti in his 15th season. We told you 8 championship games. What a career. And one of the wonderful traditions that Mount Carmel has continued is the scapula that hangs from the goalpost. And that is not for good luck. It is that the players play cleanly and no one gets hurt. It is part of the Carmelite religious order, and it has gone as part of the championship series. Heaven knows, Jack, no pun intended, we've seen that scapula hanging here in Normal several times.
I thought they were going to call this St. Illinois State after a while. These Providence and Mount Carmel, so many trips down here.
Second series now on offense for Providence. To throw is Kirby, looking, and it's complete to Johnson. Among 3 receivers, brought down by Richardson. But another good slant-in play to the basketball player / split end, Brandon Johnson.
Well, he's taken his size of 6'5" and getting right in that that seam right behind the linebacker under the corner. He puts the ball up in the air, and at 6'5", can go up and get it.
15-yard pickup. There are Johnson's numbers. Ball here on the near side. 1st and 10 out on the 32. They send Jordan Curtin, the tight end, over to the left side. They give it to Ruggio. Ruggio across the 35, picks up about 4. Curran on the stop. We've called Brendan Curran's name several times, and let's call Mitch Robinson's name.
Hey, Mike, a few minutes ago you saw Frank Lenti talking to his offense. The offensive line, they were a little concerned about the men on Providence, about the outside backers coming in on blitzes, trying to change the schemes a little bit, get more time. Also on defense, they say so far so good, but they wanted to get more pressure on both sides of the ball, pick up the pace. Back to you guys.
Johnson and Lokank split left on 2nd and 5. And Ruggio gets the call again. Ruggio across the 40. Be short of a 1st down. Pietrovich on the stop.
You know, in this particular game, Mike, because the last game was so close, obviously an overtime win, 21-14 for Mount Carmel, there are only minor adjustments being made by both teams because the game was so close. Had it been a blowout, there might have been major adjustments. So we're not seeing a lot of changes from the last game.
Kirby for Providence, 3 for 3 passing, 36 yards. Here is Ruggio doing the work on the ground, and he is across the 40, near 1st down yardage. He may have it. We'll have to wait and see. Dan Casasanto, the linebacker, making the stop for Mount Carmel.
Good shot of the movement here. He needs 2 yards. He tries to bounce it outside. Good pressure there by the Mount Carmel defensive front, and there's calls for a measurement.
Chain gang will come out. Justin Ruggio at 6 feet 205, 26 touchdowns on the year, and again, he is someone who has put together nearly 4,000 yards in his career. 1st down for Providence.
That's an incredible statistic when you think about high school football. Of course, you know, they end up playing 14 games every year, so you can pile on that yardage. But 2,000 yards as a junior, and approaching 2,000 again here in the senior year.
Sefner looking across. His team has dominated offensively in the scoreless ball game. Under 5 minutes to go, 1st quarter. They're in the eye. Rigsby the up back, Ruggio the tailback. Play fake to Ruggio. And look out, down he goes. Kirby taken down by Terrence Johnson. His 5th sack of the season, and he just flew right in.
Well, this was great movement here by Johnson. He just gets outside that guard that pulls and just has great athleticism here. He's 254 pounds, and he's running like he's 154 pounds. You can see him right there, defensive tackle. He beats the offensive tackle, takes a great angle, and with his great quickness and agility, makes the big sack.
Loss of 9. Brings up a 2nd and close to 20. The ball's on the 33. A good look at Terrence Johnson. Now it's Warren in at the fullback spot in the eye.
See, Kirby's trying to make some audible calls here, and he's coming up on the line too late. And he's trying to make an audible with under 5 seconds, and you can't do it. And he's
we have a dead ball. Delay a game against the offense. 5 yards, 2nd down.
Well, penalties have continued to plague Providence. 3rd delay penalty called.
Well, they're looking for the adjustments in Mount Carmel's defense to audibilize. They just have to do it sooner. He's doing it right now, Mike.
Now they're heading backwards. 2nd and 25. Kirby with the quick slant to Johnson, but ball bounced in front of him. Richardson on the coverage, but the pressure put on Kirby.
He audible to that play. Now Johnson was open. He just underthrew it because he got pressure up the middle and had to throw off his back foot.
Yeah, about 1,000 pounds of beef bearing down on him right there.
There's some great stats for a quarterback that complement that 2,000-yard rusher in the backfield. Be able to have your quarterback throw for 2,000.
They were a bit concerned about his performance in the semifinal against Bolingbrook. Did not throw the ball well, and so far he seems to have shrugged that off. That was his first incompletion. Ruggio, flag goes down at the end of the play, and Ruggio takes a big chunk of yardage up close to the 40-yard line. Johnson again on the stop. But once more the flags are flying, and it looks like it's going to go against the Celtics.
It's a hold somewhere in here, and you can see right there right in here. You can see he has his hands on the outside of the cylinder. Once you get your hands on the outside, you got
Holding against the offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Well, there was a long way to go, so Mount Carmel declines the penalty, bringing up a 4th down. Flynn will kick it away to Mike Wilson, who is back on his 33-yard line.
Now again, Mount Carmel has 1 deep, and they've got 10 people up. It's either going to be a rush or a hold-up, where they just try and stop everybody on the line of scrimmage so the receiver gets a chance to run it back.
Good kick. Back to the 24. Did he touch it? Apparently he doesn't think so. We'll see what the official says. And they're letting it roll dead, so apparently Wilson did not touch the ball.
But see, they're making a mistake there. They got to pick that ball up. If they let it bounce around, Mount Carmel could still pick it up and run with it. Till the whistle blows, it is not dead.
49-yard punt, no return, 2:57 left to go in the first quarter. We are scoreless in the 5A championship. There's still one more IHSA title to be decided after this one. Barrington to shut down the Air Wheaton-Warrenville show. Battle of 2 undefeateds. It's coming your way. Jack and I will be here with Mitch. 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Chicago Plus. Now it's going to be on Plus, so call your local cable system for the channel number in your area. 6A coming up after this. Mount Carmel, its 2nd series. And a short gain as Smith runs it near the 25-yard line. Nick Lackney for the Celtics.
No,
tackle.
My feeling is it's like 2 heavyweights in the first couple rounds, just jabbing at each
Feeling each other out.
I mean, and they're going back and forth, trying to get ideas of formations and defenses. They're just jabbing away. This is about ready to explode here, coming up pretty soon.
Pickup of 7, 2nd and 3. 2:24 and running on the clock. Cozzie with the pitch. Once again, it's Smith, and Smith diving close to the marker and out of bounds. Shane Summers
again running the option in the short side of the field. You see the dive fake there. The linebackers aren't falling for it at all. You can see the fast flow to get to the pitch man, and of course they have less field to cover because they're running to the short side of the field.
He will be about 3 yards short.
Look for Mount Carmel in the next few series to give it to the dive back with those linebackers flying out of there for the pitch. They're going to give it to the dive back, and he'll pop one.
Now let's see what he picked up. They hadn't moved the markers, so now we will see the measurement. They decided already it is about the length of a football short, so they're just remarking it here on the 27. So a 3rd and a short 1. 2:17 left to go first quarter. Coach Jack McInerney, Mike Liederman, Mitch Robinson, our Fox Sports Chicago crew. Hope you're enjoying this one. It is building up to a crescendo. Third and short. First back through is Bolden, and Bolden gets the yardage plus. He's to the 30.
Simplest play in football, a dive for that first down. Get in behind that big offensive line, just straight ahead.
Lackney on the tackle.
You can see right here the big push by the offensive line. All they need is a yard. They get that surge up front. The unsung heroes of football, the offense and defensive linemen. They take all the bruises but get very little of the publicity.
And you talk about the prototype of smash mouth. This is it. Lucky they're all wearing face guards. From the 31-yard line, first down for Carmel. Inside completed pass to Eric Sutherland, the wide receiver, and he gets first down yardage across the 40 before he is brought down.
Good 3-step drop right here, and he's letting Octavius Bond clear out for him. The threat of Octavius Bond has those defenders backing up, and that lets him come underneath for the catch. Nice first down for Mount Carmel.
12-yard pickup, Luke Seffner. Familiar name as a sophomore, playing in the secondary.
Nice stats for Brad Cozzie coming out of an option offense as far as the passing game is concerned.
And Mount Carmel with its first sustained drive. Cozzie with the play fake, looking for Bond. Bond had his man beaten. He had Godfrey a couple of steps, but the pass too far and out of bounds. Good thing to try on 1st and 10, loosen them up.
This is a teaser throw. What they're doing is they're not wasting anything here. They're putting the threat of Octavius Bond, a great sprinter, going down the field, but they're making those defensive backs realize that he can go deep, and that keeps them soft for running the option.
It's an issue we talk about every time we come up to the stadium. There's a very high crown on this field, and the players are not used to playing on the artificial turf with such a high crown. It may affect their first couple of passes, especially to the sideline. Here is Smith on a pitch with room. And Smith with a good broken field run, 10 yards. Shane Summers knocking him out of bounds, but a good effort, fast feet by Jim Smith.
Well, this play is really made by the wide receiver, number 85. Watch the pitch. Right here, and you'll see the block coming up by number 85, Gildine. Right there, that makes the play on the option. The corner came up to take the pitch. Gildine, the wide receiver, 6'3", 210 pounds, just ran him out and gave him a running lane, and that's the safety coming over to make the play. That's how the option is drawn up to be run, and he did a great job with it.
11-yard pickup for Smith, and Mount Carmel across midfield. Time in the first quarter. Still scoreless. Cozzie again running the line, and here's the pitch. It goes to Bolden. And Bolden with first down yardage near the 30-yard line before Summers knocks him out again.
Now we're running the option to the wide side of the field, which is a big advantage right here. You can see he's getting the pressure right here. Number 1 had the pitch man, but he waited too long. When you're playing the option, it's assignment football. If there's a breakdown, it's always going to be resulting in a big play. And right there, Teddy Bolden got the pitch, made a nice play. Right here, he's stringing it out, makes the pitch. He has the corner, and again, this is to the wide side of the field. You can see the blocking downfield by Mike Wilson, number 11. Nice big play.
From the 32, first down.
Draw.
Cozzie to Bolden. And the draw goes inside the 30 to the 27. Pickup of 5. Tony Ulster, the middle linebacker, making his tackle along with Lackney.
Good shot of Frank Lenti giving the play to Mike Wilson, 5'11", 160-pound junior. Frank's had a tremendous career at Mount Carmel. Of course, it's been a legendary program long before Frank came there, but he has kept the reputation rolling.
And the Caravan's ground game starting to roll over 50 yards so far. Final second to the first quarter, 2nd and 5. Cozzie again runs the line and takes it himself. He'll gain a couple. Not too many folks fooled in green and white. Nick Miles making the original hit. Clock ticking down, you see it. That's the end of the first quarter. So these teams have been punching and counter-punching. Meanwhile, Mount Carmel on a sustained drive. We'll change ends, take a break, and be back. The IHSA Championships here on Fox Sports Chicago. Providence, Mount Carmel scoreless after 1. Let's go to action in the second quarter. Mount Carmel now with a 3rd and 6 driving here. Their first sustained effort, starting back around their own 10-yard line after a punt. 10th play of the drive upcoming. And the quarterback, Brad Cozzie, over center, the 2 backs. And they give it inside to Smith. Touchdown, Caravan.
Simple as playing football, a dive. He just popped it, found a seam. Great job up front. And they've been living off that all year long. They lull you to sleep, running the option outside on the perimeter. They get the linebackers going outside to take the pitch of the quarterback, and they pop the dive back right up inside.
22nd rushing touchdown of the season for Jim Smith. Picture-perfect play, 26 yards. And the opening play of the second quarter, the Caravan gets on the board first. They will kick the point with Pietrovich.
This is something we haven't seen.
I love this. You Luke Rosa, Ben Agajani, and Pat Summerall fans, a straight-ahead kicker. And right through the uprights. None of that soccer-style stuff. No way. Right through. Pietrovich will kick off. They'll come back up the field, and the Caravan have the 7-0 lead.
Here's a dive option. You can see Jim Morfoot, the center, blocking back against the nose. Gary Young helping him, the left guard, and Sylvester Miller. and Jim Smith pops a dive. Watch the center block back right here. He's blocking right back against the nose, just pops it right up inside. He's doubling it with Sean Dillon, and it's just nothing more than a straight dive, and Jimmy Smith makes the big touchdown. It's the exact same play he scored on overtime against Providence in that game of the decade on October 17th.
10 plays, 83 yards. 3 minutes nearly on the clock, and there is Jim Smith, touchdown number 22 on the season. So Petrovich will get set to kick it off. And 5 seconds elapsed on the first play of the second quarter.
You know what's amazing, Mike? We as coaches spend so much time getting so sophisticated over the years on all these plays and formations, and you know, we spend hours and summers and winters working on all this, and here's the simplest play in football, the dive. Score a touchdown in the state championship game. Sometimes we just outcoach ourselves.
Well, if it ain't broke, as they say.
So I keep trying to tell my wife. She always wants me to do stuff at home. It's not broken. Now that looks broken.
That's the square-toe kicking shoe with a little bit of an adhesive to keep it up in the air. And Petrovich booms it high and far and short.
Ball.
The ball is live, and who's going to come up with it?
By Carmel.
This is Schumacher. They're waving it off.
You I don't believe you can advance that.
But it looks like Schumacher came up with the ball cleanly. A kickoff does not have to be touched by the opposing team.
No, they could have fair caught that. Providence, with the ball so high, could have fair caught it.
Boy, it seemed to hang up there through the 6A game. Watch it here.
Now you can see right here, it's a jump ball. Everybody's going up for it. And Mount Carmel, it hits the ground. That's why it's dead. He can't advance the kick, but it is a live ball. And Mount Carmel now has a tremendous break.
And the All-State linebacker, Jerry Schumacher, with the turnover. And the Caravan in business again, deep, deep, deep in Providence territory.
It's a play you rarely see in football.
You want to get that height on the kickoff and get it above the first picket fence, but I've never seen the ball go that deep and be recovered that well. Cozzie in the end zone, looking. Broken up. Intended for Gildine, but broken up nicely by Shane Summers. Summers 6'1", Gildine about 6'3".
Summers never falls for the fake. Gildine is on the top of the screen. He's breaking down right there. You saw him shuffle step as if he was going to block, and then he takes off. You can see Summers right here, and that almost looks like face guarding, which is a pass interference call. He was very fortunate he didn't get a flag on that.
Well, at the last minute, Jack, it looked like he turned back to face the ball.
Well, his eyes didn't, his ear did.
Come on.
You have to turn your head.
Come on.
That's just a little coaching.
We'll show you a little slow-mo. Second down. And Smith met in the backfield by Tony Olsta and Brendan Kavanaugh. Wicked hit by the Celtics, who are clamping down here.
It's a crucial time right now, early in the game for Providence. If Mount Carmel gets on the board again in a big game like this, it's very difficult to come back. Now, obviously not saying that Providence does not have the tools to do it, but psychologically, it could be tough. There's a very concerned Matt Sefner right there.
Mike Wilson running a play in.
31 years, Matt has seen it all.
I don't know if he's seen that kickoff.
Probably not.
Gildine and Wilson split right. Cozzie straight back, firing. And the flag goes down. It's going to be pass interference intended for Bond. Godfrey got a hand in there. Mike Godfrey, the cornerback, but the official said he got more and too soon. So it's pass interference.
Well, he's looking for the slant. Top of your screen, you'll see the receiver coming right across the field. And it looks like he gets his arm right in there. He's got his left arm on his shoulder, and his right arm is coming in for the ball.
Close call.
Very close call. You can see right here. Watch his left arm. He's got it on the back of the receiver right there. See how he turns his shoulder? His right arm comes for the ball. His left arm's turning the shoulder. That's the interference call. Great call.
All right, let's take a look. We'll
and
see
even
what the
better
call
camera
is.
work.
Yeah, the cameras are right on top of it. But let's hear the call.
We have an ineligible downfield on the offense. He was covered. Penalties declined. Fourth down.
Well, there you go. Never anticipate, because that wasn't the penalty. Ineligible man downfield.
That's the lineup in the formation. But if we ask the official, I can guarantee you that was going to be a pass interference call right there. One preceded the other. Right here. It's interference. But what we have is a receiver. A flanker was up on the line of scrimmage, which made another receiver ineligible. That was the call.
All right, Petrovich will try a 32-yard field goal. Again, straight ahead. Haran is the holder. And he'll be kicking with the wind in his face. Up. Nice and high, but off to the right. So Providence certainly dodges one. 10:54 to go. It's still 7-0 Mount Carmel, and the Caravan just missed an excellent opportunity.
That was a big opportunity for Mount Carmel. Not only the field position, but the emotional high that Mount Carmel had recovering that kickoff after scoring. Now they're down, they're a little flat right now, not being able to get any points out of that drive.
Ball comes back to the 20, and Providence will go on offense again. Burton, the tight end, shifts over to the left side. Ruggio tries to break it outside, but he is trapped immediately. Dan Casasato, number 60. And it looks like Tony Fulton, number 48, in there to make that play. Back up the lineman. So a good play. Meanwhile, get high school sports. You got it here. IHSA Sportsnet on Fox Sports Chicago. Tom Waddle will host you. 30 minutes worth of the most complete high school action. 11 a.m. Sunday on Fox Sports Chicago. Kirby back, looking long over the middle. Looking for Johnson, double covered, overshoots him, but that ball was thrown about 55 yards in the air. Let's go down to Mitch Robinson. Nice socks, Brandon.
Thanks a lot, Mike. We're here with John Belskis of the advisory committee for the IHSA. They talked about how the kids have to get used to playing on the turf, probably the first time they see it in this final. But you guys have a system that you may implement, or you'd like to talk about at least.
Well, a lot of the coaches are in favor of playing the semifinal games on a neutral site. Maybe the 5 and 6A game up at Northern Illinois, the 3 and 4A game here or at Champaign, and maybe 1 and 2A down at Southern Illinois, so everybody gets a chance to play on some AstroTurf prior to playing the championship game, and you're pretty much assured of good game field conditions, not like last year when it got awfully rainy and muddy.
And then you keep it back here for the state final.
Schumacher on the sack. Flags went down earlier, but Schumacher just flew right in. Thank you, Mitch and John. We'll get back to you in a second, but that play was just a flash from Jerry Schumacher.
A late fire here by Schumacher coming from the backside.
Whoa.
And he really hits the quarterback where you're supposed to, high, so he can't get to the ball or can't get rid of the ball. And you can see where his protection of that extra helmet came off also with that hit.
Penalties decline, so it's 4th down. Casasato in there on the sack as well. There's Schumacher's measurements.
All-stater. His dad was an all-stater at Mount Carmel and had a great career at the University of Michigan. His dad, Jerry. Now, Jerry Schumacher here is also a captain of the Caravan.
And of course, let's not forget Sister Katie, who I'm sure Jerry has heard more than he wants to about. All-state volleyball player at Mother McCauley, now at Penn State. Here's Don's punt. And he gets some foot into this at midfield. Wilson gets a good return. Inside the 30, still going. Brought down by Oldstuff. 31-yard punt, 23-yard return, and the Caravan again in business here.
Well, the key to this in AstroTurf is to catch the ball and not let it bounce or hit the ground where you get that long bounce. And this is just a good job of finding that seam in that picket fence and getting up there in good yardage and great field position for Mount Carmel.
So the Caravan, who missed an excellent opportunity just before, have another one again from the 27-yard line. Cozzie, now he pitches it to Bolden. And a penalty flag goes down in the backfield as Bolden tries to circle the left side.
I think that play is going to be on Joe Gildine, who made that great block in the first quarter on the option, and now he's going to get caught for holding. Yes, that's the call. So we take a look at the option right here. Watch number 85 right there. There's your holding. You can see he's got him hooked under the arm, and the official grabs it, throws the flag, and he's got a holding call.
Jerry Frump has been a busy man so far this first half. He's going to get his voice on regional television again momentarily.
We have holding against the offense, 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Well, Let's go back to Mitch Robinson with your boss, Jack McInerney, John Belskis.
Thanks a lot. And just to clarify, then, if the semifinals are in neutral sites, you're not going to leave this site for the state final.
No, this has worked out well, and I know Don Robinson, it's your last year, and he did a great job. Weather and no, I think the venue here for the finals would stay the same. I just like to say, I don't know, Jack, if Debbie's buying your clothes now, but you're dressing much better these days.
Back up to you guys.
Hey, John, I had him call the 800 number today for Dark Shirt Day. Meanwhile, pass is complete. Octavius Bond catches his first ball and picks up most of the penalty yardage across the 30-yard line.
Well, here's just a little slow rollout coming over to this side to get away from that rush up front, and he finds Bond on a crossing route, picks it off, and they're hemming him into the sideline because if he gets free, especially on this turf with his speed, he's gone.
Well, they talk about him being a Division I prospect.
Well, he's got great stats for a regular team, but here's a kid that's playing in an option, so those are actually double those stats when you're playing with a running team.
Picked up 11 of the 21 yards they need on the draw. Bolden tries to shake it free and does. Bolden gets a first down. Shane Summers brings him down, but what a piece of running by Bolden, who is back in the lineup on a full-time basis, injured an ankle earlier in the season. Gil Dean with a big block as well.
Just a draw coming up inside, and he bounces it outside there when the tackle moves in and just does a nice job of getting outside and trying to turn it back in. Teddy Bolden had a great year as a junior and was doing extremely well early on in the season, and he injured an ankle and was out for the season. Now he's back for the state championship game.
The ball just outside the 10, so technically the Caravan can get another first down. So 1st and 10, 2 receivers left. Cozzie goes inside, and Smith across the 10 and not much more. Lackney making the stop, along with Miles and just about every other defensive lineman in green and white.
Good shot of both coaches.
I think Matt Sefner started the program 31 years ago. Frank Lenti came out of Loyola. And I don't know where those folks came from. But you know they're from Mount Carmel.
Either that or they're out temporarily on a weekend
They
pass.
look like some of the donuts. Cozzie on the option. Cozzie close to the goal line. Finally stopped by Dan Raddick. But there's a play that went for more than it looked like it was going to.
Well, again, here's the option. He fakes the dive right here, and he gets a lead back. He's got his pitch man, and they're stringing it out. They want to take Bolden away on the pitch, so Cozzie's able to turn it up inside, and he had 212 yards rushing during the season on 95 carries. Not bad for an option quarterback.
Olsta had him, but tripped him up, and the ball again just short of first down yardage. And you can see how close it is to the goal line. So you've got maybe a foot and an inch.
You know, interesting comment on Matt Sefner and his great career of 31 years at Providence. But early on, it wasn't all that roses. His first 6 years, they were 9, 36, and 1. His first 6 years at Providence. Then all of a sudden, the glory days started.
Yeah, and they haven't stopped.
Over 200 wins later.
4 straight titles. Now 3rd down and an inch. And for a touchdown, maybe a foot. Bolden and Smith, the setbacks.
Here's where that offensive line needs to dig in.
Give this to Smith. No signal yet. We got a signal now. Touchdown, Mount Carmel.
We've got 1 foot to go for Mount Carmel, and they're running a simple dive in behind an offensive line that averages 231 pounds. 6'2", 231-pound average of Mount Carmel's offensive line. If you can't get a half a yard behind them, something's wrong.
Pietrovich will attempt to add the extra point. Haran to hold. Try to make it a 14-point Caravan lead. Tough snap, handled nicely by Haran. The kick is up. The kick is good.
Got a flag.
But, yeah, there is a flag on the field.
I think it's on Providence.
Well, you can see that Pietrovich is picking up his tee, so he's confident he's not going to have to kick it again. Smith being talked to by the official.
Usually the rule of thumb is you never take points off the board. They'll assess it on the kickoff.
Want to make mention, well, let's first hear the call on the flag.
Black and below the waist.
Yeah, against Providence. So let's hear the call from Jerry Frump.
We have an illegal block on the defense. PAT is good. We have a 15-yard penalty on the kickoff.
Ouch.
Well, you don't want to take points off the board in a game like this, and that basically what it amounts to is it's a cut block right there by the nose man. He took the legs out. A lot of people think you can only do that on offense, but on defense it also can be a call.
Well, you're doing it on the PAT, so it's going to be a 15-yard penalty, so Mount Carmel can put more pressure on when we come back. 2 touchdowns to the good. The Caravan out ahead. Mount Carmel kicking off, and on the right side you can see that Providence, being victimized on the last kickoff, has sent 4 men deep on this one. Flynn and Johnson are still the deep backs, but 2 up men as well. 6 plays, 27 yards, 214, and 2 straight drives, or 2 out of 3 drives have led for scores, and the short plunge from Jim Smith.
Jimmy Smith running behind that big offensive line of Mount Carmel, 231 pounds. And all he needs is a yard. And, of course, Jimmy Smith is 200 pounds himself, so I think he can get a yard behind that group.
And naturally, the penalty assessed 15 yards on the point after attempt against Providence will allow Mount Carmel to kick off from the Providence 45-yard line.
Now, what they might do here is they're going to try to do the same thing. They don't want to kick the ball into the end zone. They're going to try and kick it high or on an angle so they get better coverage.
Pietrovich booms this one out. Johnson inside his end zone, and of course that in high school ball cannot be run out. So it's a touchback. Providence will get the ball trailing by 2 touchdowns. 7:30 to go here in the first half. Not exactly what Mount Carmel wanted to do, but so far not too much else has gone poorly for the Caravan.
Well, this is the same scenario basically that happened in that first game, except it was reversed. Mount Carmel was down by 14 going into the 4th quarter and came back, tied it up, and won it in overtime.
From the 20-yard line, Kirby leading Providence. Again, the play action. Shoots this one, and it is intended for Lokank, and it is complete. Timbers on the coverage, and Lance Lokank, second leading receiver on this team, makes the grab and a first down.
This was great arm strength on the drop here. The outside guy clears out. Lokank runs a deep out right there, just beyond the first down marker. That's a 15-yard out throw for the quarterback, so that's a great arm strength for Jim Kirby.
And nice job by Lokank to get both 1 foot in bounds. Johnson trying to get that little flat pass, and Pietrovich and a whole bunch of Caravan on him.
I don't think Brandon Johnson realizes north and south is where the end zone is, not east and west.
He had a lot of brown shirts pursuing him too. Second down, called a gain of 2.
This again is a quick screen out to the wide receiver where the other wide receiver blocks the man that's responsible for this man right here. And of course there's a lot of people coming after him. It's like he won the lottery there.
Second down, Johnson right, slot is Lokank. Top of your picture. Ruggio. Lokank can't hold his block, and Ruggio is taken down by number 44, Kareem Timbers, and Casasanto, the linebacker, number 60. Third tackle for Timbers. Casasanto already has 5.
That was really a nice job by Timbers. He had a guy right on him. He just stretched him out until he made the play.
Coming up to the halfway point here in the second quarter, 2 touchdown lead, 14-0 for Mount Carmel over Providence, the 4-time defending state champions. Again, the fake. Kirby. Ooh, look out, Schumacher. Ooh, just said, okay, you've gone far enough. He got the first down, but Kirby had to pay, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has a shoulder problem after that.
What happens out here is that the receivers are covered and they're all deep, so he just turns up and runs. And you'll see Schumacher coming to the screen right here. Wow, helmet right under the chin. And he stands Kirby up and puts him on his back. He's a little wobbly, but he's coming off the field by his own strength there. But that was quite a pop.
Oh, my. Well, Kirby could have used the protection on the shoulder as well as on the head. So he'll be out for at least one play, and Pat Flynn, the backup quarterback, will come in. Flynn, number 9, 6'2", 280-pound junior, has taken some snaps, actually completed half a dozen passes. But let's listen to what Kirby had to fight and hear. You can hear the crowd. Flynn is in. First play is a pass in and out of the hands of Locan.
That was a strong arm right there.
Jeremy Wallace on the coverage, but no conservative play, no little handoff there. The backup quarterback comes in firing.
And Kirby is back in the ball game.
He's in. Kevin Rigsby comes in at the up back or fullback spot. 2nd and 10.
See the fullback up there again. Nice and close. He just becomes another offensive lineman there. Again, the screen
to Brandon Johnson, and Johnson about 3 yards shy of the first down. Timbers and Richardson, the corners both over there to knock him out of bounds.
When the defensive backs are playing off them quite a bit, I think this is one of their audibles. They're going to go outside there and throw the ball. There's a good shot of Frank Lenti. There's Matt Sefner.
Sefner's got a much more balanced attack running and passing than Carmel does. Cozzie has been able to make the throws when he has to. 3rd and 3. Kirby's numbers. 6 out of 8. Ruggio fighting for first down yardage. He'll be short. Casasanto leads the charge of the Caravan, and they will be at least a yard, maybe more short, just across midfield.
Well, statistically, it's obvious at this point that Mount Carmel wants to take away Ruggio and force Providence to throw the ball. I mean, they're just stuffing the run. You can see these linebackers right here. They have just eyeballing him, and they're going wherever he's going. That's a nice job right there by the defensive line of Mount Carmel.
Well, Carmel isn't dropping anybody back. You can see why. Providence going for it on 4th and 2. Kirby again takes his head, and a beautiful play knocked down. It's Schumacher again. And just as he did in the first game, he is rising to the occasion here, batting down that pass just as it left Kirby's hand.
And the key to that was right behind him, the fullback was wide open. Watch number 39 there, just left the corner of your screen. He is wide open. Watch Schumacher coming right here. Look at him. He is wide open. That is great athleticism right there by Jerry Schumacher, 6'3", 215-pound All-State senior. That was a great play because it would have been a first down and a big play for Providence.
Talk about a difference maker. Schumacher has been it so far. So the ball goes over Mount Carmel now. 1st and 10 from its own 45. 4:12 to go first half. Smith up to midfield and across it. Check it, it's Bolden. Ted Bolden showing few effects of the injured ankle. Brought down by Ulster and Nick Miles.
Really has been all Mount Carmel thus far in the first half, but quite a bit of it has been the fact of field position. They've been taking the ball over in great field position, usually in Providence's territory.
Two receivers right, one split left. Cozzie looking inside for Sutherland. He's got the ball at the 50 and wrestled down after little, if any, gain. The linebacker, Dan Raddick. Well, the Carmel huddle there. It ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's listen in. That's David Lenti, the defensive coordinator. Watch out for the flood.
That's basically was a route that they were running there that Schumacher knocked down.
On 3rd and 5. Smith up the middle. He will be short and well short. Castellano. The nose tackle or nose guard or nose man knows that he's got to get to the ball carrier, and he's done it 142 times this year for Providence.
And he has 8 sacks to go along with that. He's only 5'9", 165 pounds, and he's going up against a line that averages 230. But his quickness negates that oftentimes.
Pietrovich now will shift from that right position. There he is, number 61. They'll go into punt formation. Something, again, that Frank Lenti put in to try to draw offenses or defenses offside. They'll be kicking into the wind. The block is on, and they get it. At least they get it partially. But he didn't really have that far to punt it. It goes across the 35-yard line. And let's see who got a hand on it. Only a 15-yard kick.
It's taking a lot of time here to get this ball off. Looks like he thinks he's had practice. It's a low punt, low trajectory, and he gets pressure right up the middle. And it's deflected right here. And obviously right here, he's...
And the Oscar award-winning performance doesn't go
goes
there.
to
Batain, number 22, came in, and he may be the guy who got a hand on it right there.
Right there.
Batain, yeah.
And then the pirouette at the end.
Yeah. And Tony Flash.
Unnoticed by the officials.
Providence now down by 2 touchdowns. Kirby just gets the ball away, and he was just swallowed up by Jeremy Wallace as he released the ball. Lokank, the intended receiver, and Kirby is saying, whoa, wait a minute.
Now you can see he never looks back to the left, and this is where you come after him from the backside. Great pressure coming. Jeremy Wallace, they had a corner blitz on, and he had great pressure.
That's Terrence Johnson who was down. Johnson, the 6'1", 254-pound senior defensive lineman, being attended to. Seems to be having the wind knocked out of him. Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of wind to get knocked out.
Oh, Jack.
254 pounds, and really he moves like he's about 154. He's got great agility.
Part of the Carmel crowd. 14-0. It's been all Mount Carmel. 1:54 to go first half. Following this, of course, we'll have the 6A game on Fox Sports Plus. Call your cable operator, get through the voicemail, and get the local listing for channel. It'll be on at 7, and we're going to get whistles here. As looks like Tom Lenahan, the offensive lineman. It's just not fair. Rarely do offensive linemen get their names mentioned until they jump off sides.
Lower right corner, right there, you can see Lenahan, 6'2", 255-pound senior, jumping the gun there. And of course, in high school, all you do is break the plane, and it's a 5-yard penalty even before contact.
6 penalties for Providence, just a couple for Carmel.
And they've been in situations where they're in their own territory.
Several, 3 delay of game. So it's a 2nd and 15 as the light begins to dim here. Kirby looking, shoots, got his man, it's Rigsby. And it'll be well short. Casasanto on the stop. Kevin Rigsby. Backup fullback, 6 foot 196.
Well covered by Mount Carmel. That was the play they were talking about when we had that camera shot on the sideline as far as watching the flood. Bring the fullback out and the tight end across.
Quickly up at 3rd and 11. Johnson split left. Kirby shoots it for Johnson, got his man, and swallowed up at the 35-yard line. Timbers and Richardson. But again, the corner's playing a little bit soft there because it was a long way to go, and it'll bring up 4th down and long. Coming up at halftime, our guy Mitch Robinson will interview no relative, but Don Robinson, Associate Executive Director of the IHSA, and a man who will be retiring shortly, so he may have his golf clubs with him. Certainly he can play today. But we'll have the scoring, statistics, highlights. It's all here in the game that has been long anticipated. But right now, Jack, got to say, a little devoid of drama.
Well, it has been. It's really been kind of a heavyweights punching away at each other. And I think we've got a lot more football ahead of us in that second half. There'll be a few little adjustments. But right now, it's really been Mount Carmel's offensive line and defensive line dominating the game. And I think that's been the difference. There'll be a few more adjustments at halftime, and I think Providence will come out and open it up a little more.
Providence moving up in class. Again, the 1A through 6A dependent upon enrollment. Mount Carmel has also moved between 4, 5, and 6. But right now they are both in Class 5A, and they are meeting together for the second time in history and the first time in a state championship. Two of the premier football programs in the state of Illinois historically.
Well, Mount Carmel has been in this championship game 9 times.
And they've been running football for 75 years. Providence for 31. All of them under the tutelage of Matt Seffner. Now for 75, they've had a few other coaches at Mount Carmel and Frank Lenti, but none better. Flynn will punt it away. Wilson at his own 26. 1:05 to go. End over end kick. Wilson muffs it.
Smart play.
Covers up at the 29. Okay, so he muffed it. Never had possession. Was able to recover.
They could be recovered by the other by Providence, but you can see right here, this is the main reason you never let the ball hit the turf. Look at this thing bouncing. Now he does a smart thing here without even never attempted to want to pick it up again. He just wanted to get possession.
As well he should. Smart play, well coached. So 56 seconds left. Carmel with decent field position on their own 29. Bolden and Smith.
Be surprised to see Octavius Bond going deep.
And they give it to Smith. Smith fighting through yardage. Ooh, going east-west, gets a block. And Jim Smith made 12 yards from nothing. Octavius Bond gave him a block, but what an effort by Smith before Pasolano knocked him out. He was trapped in the backfield for a 3-yard loss, made it a 12-yard gain.
He actually probably ran about 46 yards to end up getting 12 positive yards, cut the field back, did really a great job. Just a draw here, has nowhere to go, bounces it back outside. Poor tackling is a combination of good running. And watch the block coming up right here. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh,
that hurts. Right there.
Right
Great block.
Back live, 31 seconds on the clock. Bond in motion to you. Cozzie fires it up. He's got Bond in between two defenders, but incomplete.
Trying to get him deep.
He had Godfrey with him. Shane Summers as well. Well, you got to try that. 30 seconds to go in the half, leading 14-0. Why not?
You got the burner outside that can turn it on. You might as well go up top a few times and try and get a quick score. Especially if you can isolate him one-on-one. Now out here right now, he's got man coverage. He's all by himself.
Second down. This time they hand it off inside. And Bolden will go for short yardage, and with 15 seconds and counting, Carmel might let this one go and let the clock run down. That's what's going to be. So at halftime, it has been all Caravan. Both teams head to the locker rooms in the 5A championship, the long-awaited 5A championship. Mount Carmel and Frank Lenti leading Matt Seffner and Providence of New Lenox 14-0. And it has been that kind of dominance, and only a failed opportunity deep in Providence territory keeps it from being a worse situation for Providence. Let's go down to Mitch Robinson.
Thanks a lot, Mike. And Coach, not the best first half for what you guys want, but it's still a close game. 14-0, easy to come back to, I guess.
Well, you know, we're just not playing very well today, and you know, I don't know as complete a game as we played against them last time. We're playing an incomplete game today, and it's very disappointing right now. So we've got to figure out how to get this thing switched around.
I keep asking the coaches, adjustment-wise, what do you want to look to change in the second half that you don't see you're getting in this first half?
We're not getting any movement in the offensive line with our offensive linemen. Our running game, we're not getting any, and that's the thing we got to get.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Thanks for joining us. Definitely dejected. 14-0 at the half, and back up to you guys.
Well, if nothing else, you know that Matt Seffner can make adjustments, Jack.
Oh, definitely. 31 years of doing it. And, you know, as we mentioned, the key has been the dominance of the offensive and defensive line of the Mount Carmel Caravan. They've been doing a great job and really handling the Celtics.
Halftime activities coming up from Bloomington. We're live on Fox Sports Chicago.
Welcome back to normal Hancock Stadium. Halftime at the game everyone has been talking about. The 5A state championship. Mount Carmel Caravan up 14-0 on Providence in this one. It's been a great and exciting battle. Heavyweights slugging it out so far as we take a look at the scoring summary. It has been Mount Carmel in the offensive zone twice today. And they got on the board in the first quarter. A 26-yard touchdown run by Smith made it 7-0 Mount Carmel. And then the same man did it in the second quarter, punching it over from about a foot out to 14-0 Mount Carmel. Definitely a dejected head coach on the Providence side. They want to make some changes. Matt Sefner not happy with the way his team's playing, says they're probably playing their worst game that they've ever played against this Mount Carmel team. Mount Carmel has emotion right now. They've got big kids on the offensive and defensive lines, and it's beginning to show. Weather not a factor. It's turning into a lovely, cool fall evening. Plenty more halftime coming up. Next, we have an interview with Don Robinson, the Associate Executive Director of the IHSA. Don't go away. We'll be right back on Fox Sports Chicago. Welcome back to Hancock Stadium. Halftime of the Class 5A State Championship game. 14-0 Mount Carmel over Providence. It's been a great one, and another great one on my right. Don Robinson, the Associate Executive Director of the IHSA. And Don, sad to say, but this is your last year performing this task.
Well, yeah, yes, it is. It's been a pleasant 21 years, but, you know, it's time to move aside and let somebody else come in and take over. And I'm very proud of what the football coaches have allowed me to accomplish over the years, and I'm confident the association will come up with someone who will move us to a new level.
You should be proud of what you've done in 21 years. Can you reflect back and think, does anything stand out, a moment, a game, something that you remember that you'll always take with you?
Well, there's several of them. I remember one year, Richwoods and Joliet Catholic up at Northwestern was one of the greatest football games I've ever seen. You know, we've had some great teams here. Bob Shannon's teams from East St. Louis, Rod Butler's teams, and Tom Peeler's teams from Richwoods, and Gordon Gillespie's teams, and you know, certainly Matt Sefner's and Frank Lindy's teams have been great ones. The Geneseo teams have been here, have been super teams. So, and I'm sure I'm leaving some out. Mount Carmel's had some great teams from the Mount Carmel, Illinois, from the south end of the state. Has had some great teams. So, yeah, it's been a pleasure, and it's just fun to watch these kids play the game.
What is Don Robinson's legacy when he leaves?
Well, you know, I hope I'm remembered as somebody who helped, as somebody who left some things to be done, certainly, who has some classification and has problems that we need to worry about now, and the schools are going through some nightmares with conferences and rescheduling and not being able to schedule and some of those things. So I'm not leaving the cupboard bare, as the coaches would say.
What is the future personally, and what do you think the future of the IHSA is?
Well, the future of the IHSA is in good hands. You know, we have a great board we work with right now, and we have a heck of a lot of interest out there. The member schools are paying a lot of attention, and Dave Fry, Executive Director, does a great job. And the people I've worked with over the years, Jim Fleming and Marty Hickman and Mary Struckoff and Sue Henriksen and people before them have just, you know, been fun to be around. And for me, I'm just going to reduce the stress level in my life. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to do something. I feel too good, and I'm way too young to not do something. But yeah, I'm going to play a little golf, maybe.
Well, you've always been a big help to us. We appreciate it, and you know there's always a free press pass for you.
I appreciate that, Mitch. Food too, I assume.
Hey, sure. What the heck? We'll work a deal.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Don Robinson. Hey, stay with us. Halftime continues. We've got highlights from the first half. You don't want to miss them. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the written consent of Fox Sports Chicago and Intersport Television is strictly prohibited. Halftime score, it's been all Mount Carmel. The Caravan looking for a 5A championship, 14-0 over the defending champion Providence Celtics, moving up from Class 4A. Jack, when you look at this game, everybody was so excited about it. Can it live up to the hype? Honestly, so far it hasn't, but there's a half to go.
Well, Mike, I'm telling you, there's something I feel that there's going to be an explosion here. Mark my words, the second half is going to be very, very exciting. Right now, I can just, it's shaking with Matt Sefner in that locker room talking to that offensive line from Providence. There's going to be an explosion, I guarantee you.
Well, so far the explosion has come from Jim Smith. He scored both touchdowns, and really Justin Ruggio has been held in check.
Well, he really has, but again, we talked about the game in the trenches. So far in the first half, Mount Carmel's won it on both sides of the ball. Look in the second half for a few adjustments, but the offensive line of Providence to really come out.
Let's take a look at the highlights, both of them, all Mount Carmel. First play, second quarter after scoreless first quarter. Quick hitter, 26 yards. Smith gets the ball.
Again, just a dive play, the simplest play in football. He runs behind that 231-pound offensive line, and Jimmy Smith, big touchdown against Providence. He did the same thing in the overtime game.
After a missed field goal, Mount Carmel knocking at the door again, and Smith answers it.
Well, a 200-pounder running behind a 230-pound offensive line, you're bound to get a yard.
Well, Mount Carmel also had another opportunity. They missed a field goal, and they could have added to their lead. And take a look at the statistics, and yeah, you can see, especially on the ground, it's been all Caravan.
Well, as you heard the interview with Matt Seffner, his offensive line was not getting the job done. They weren't able to run the ball. That stat certainly does prove that, and I think you're going to see an entirely different team in the second half.
Well, for Providence's sake, we hope so, because this is a team that certainly doesn't go down easily. We told you they have won 4 straight state championships. Mount Carmel earlier in the Frank Lenti era did the same, and whoever wins this will win a 7th title, which is a co-record with the school. The only other school to do that, Joliet Catholic.
Joliet Catholic. But you know what? Matt Seffner is telling them there's no tomorrow. You've got one half of football to play for a state championship. You got to leave all the emotions. Mount Carmel was the team that was most emotional in the first half. We could sense that. Providence seemed to be kind of flat, but Mount Carmel was really fired up, and the scoreboard indicates that.
Well, we'll see what happens in the next 20 minutes. Jack McInerney, Mike Lederman, Mitch Robinson will all be back to bring you half number 2 from Hancock Stadium. Stay with us.
Welcome back to halftime. 14-0 Mount Carmel here with the head coach Frank Lenti. And Frank, Providence not happy. You guys are controlling the line of scrimmage on both the offense and defense. What'd you talk about in the lockout?
Well, before the game, we told the kids if we were going to have a chance to be successful, we're going to have to try and win the game up front, because they're very good athletically. So we're going to have to try and control the game at the line of scrimmage with the offense and the defense. Knock on wood, that's been working so far, but we just have to hope it continues in the second half.
One of your big guns, Terrence Johnson, tweaked the knee at the end of the second quarter. How is he?
He's fine. He's ready to go. He knows there's only 24 minutes left of the season. Unless it's hanging off, I think he'll be out there.
Just another Thanksgiving in Normal at Hancock Stadium for Coach Lenti. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we can bring it home.
You got it. Back up to you guys.
All right, Mitch. Never understated Frank Lenti. And Mitch, we really appreciated Mitch Robinson's interview with his uncle Don. No, they're not really related, but you know, Don Robinson, what a good guy. He's we've covered a lot of miles together, and we certainly wish him well in his retirement. Somehow retirement doesn't seem like the right word.
Well, it was interesting that Lenti talked about the offensive line domination.
Well, look at Mount Carmel's domination. Bishop McNamara winning 4 titles, Providence with 6, Wheaton Warrenville South, whom of course we'll see, which we'll see next game. They've got 3 titles, all in the 90s, but Mount Carmel and Providence each with 6, and the only other one with more, we told you, Joliet Catholic. So somebody's going to be sharing a record by the end of this afternoon. Matt Seffner, we told you the lucky hat, not bringing him much luck so far, but remember, these 2 teams played earlier, and it was Mount Carmel's turn to come from behind. So we'll see what happens here as we go to action in the 3rd quarter. Frank Lenti, we told you, 15 years, put a staff together, a very consistent staff.
Well, it's interesting. I would love to have been a fly on the wall in that Providence locker room. We'll kind of get a feel for it in this first series if the offensive line is coming off the ball and the defensive lines for Providence, because as Frank Lenti mentioned, that's been the difference, the control of the line of scrimmage by the Caravan of Mount Carmel.
Mount Carmel will receive to start the second half. 12 minutes up on the clock. They lead it by 2 touchdowns. And there are your deep men. Smith, number 27, Octavius Bond, number 80. Bond kind of quiet, but they really haven't needed him. Smith doing the kind of work you expect from a rusher of his caliber. And what was especially impressive was that breakout he did as he ran practically the length of the football field east-west, and then skirted up and made a 3-yard loss, a 15-yard gain. Mike Godfrey, number 10, to kick off. And he will be kicking with the win.
This will be a key series for Providence to stop Mount Carmel initially and see what they can do with the football.
Smith has it bounce over his head, takes it at his own 3. Smith still going. Still going. Jim Smith, what an effort. Smith was stopped several times inside his 5. Dan Raddick finally makes the hit to bring him down after a 33-yard return. And Providence had Smith where they wanted him, and they let him get away.
Well, you can almost count how many players get a shot at him right here. He's hit right on about the 12-yard line. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just a great effort, and from having him in the hole to decent field position for Mount Carmel. That could be a big play for them.
Take it out to the 36-yard line. 1st and 10. Bond split right, and they give it up the middle to Bolden. And Bolden will get short yardage, close to the 40. Brought down by Brendan Cavanaugh, the linebacker.
Game of this magnitude, Providence cannot allow Mount Carmel to put another score on the board here early on in the second half, the beginning of the second half, or they're really going to be in a hole. They have to make the emotional change here.
Eric Sutherland, you saw, number 83, one of the messenger wide receivers in for 2nd down and 8. Fletching in the line, no flags. As Bolden gets a pitch, and Bolden, trapped behind the line of scrimmage, gets up to the line. And that play could have been disastrous for Mount Carmel as Godfrey makes the stop with Olso.
Not very well executed by Mount Carmel, and there's Brad Cozzie holding his elbow there. He probably got a helmet right on the elbow. If it's the right elbow, that could have an effect on the passing game for Mount Carmel, but nice job of pursuit there by Providence on the option.
Wilson comes in with the play. Mike Wilson, Bond splits it out right. 3rd and 7. Cozzie straight back, looking for Bond. He's got him.
Lost ground.
And Bond tried to break away, make something happen, but ended up losing ground. Raddick and Cavanaugh spinning him around and taking him down with help from Ben Bowman.
Just a real quick play action drop here, 3 steps, and Bond's just running a little curl route at about 4 yards. And great pursuit here by Providence. This is the key to the play. Bond can't shake free, and more defenders are coming on their way to help.
Petrovich will have to kick into the wind now. And Johnson will be deep for Providence at his own 25-yard line. So the defense did its job for the Celtics. As Petrovich gets the kick away nicely. Johnson at his own 20. Trying to get to the wall. Nice return across the 30 to the 32-yard line.
No flag.
And the Celtics
there is a flag.
Are starting to cheer. Sean Dillon.
A late hit on that sideline there. That's the flag. You can see he's having difficulty making the decision. Decides to run east and west. And of course, that's a longer way to get to the end zone. And right here, the official throws the flag with that little extra effort. So they're going to tack 15 onto that play.
And this will be another good situation for for Providence. And Sean Dillon was out of bounds with the ball carrier when he pushed him. It wasn't a question of starting inbounds. And now they call the block below the illegal block against Providence. Offsetting. And the personal foul.
Never saw the clip because there really wasn't any blockers downfield for Providence, so it had to happen somewhere near the line of scrimmage. We definitely saw the roughing call. Let's take a look on the right side of the screen. If you can see right here, it could be blocking below the waist, but we'll continue to watch this to see where this clip is, because you can see there's not a lot of Mount Carmel players right here or Providence people to clip anybody.
We have a clip on the return against the receiving team.
You definitely see that.
We also have a dead ball, late hit, out of bounds by the defense, be 15 yards, 1st down.
Well, the ball will be placed where Johnson went out of bounds. So whether the official Jerry Frump said it or not, the penalties seem to offset. So 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line, and Providence trailing by 2 touchdowns, just the start of things here in the 3rd quarter. This is Justin Ruggio. Brought down by Casasanto, along with Turney for Mount Carmel. And once again, the Mount Carmel bench on the sidelines.
Good shot of Frank Monty. Probably on the phones there, giving it to Tom Sulo, who's the coach upstairs. Letting the quarterback talk to Coach Tom Sulo.
Gain of 4 at 2nd and 6. Kirby is your quarterback. Straight drop, looking for Lokang. And the ball, and number 49, Jeremy Wallace, arrive at the same time.
Three-step drop, just a quick slant, trying to get underneath that corner, and they're both getting there at the same time. Excellent defensive play right there. Ball's thrown a little high, which helps the defender make the play.
Wallace at 5'7", Lokank at 6'1". Wallace got in there and made the play. No flags, of course. Brings up 3rd down.
Providence just seems a step slow tonight.
Yeah. And Kirby now, after the play fake, zips it, shoots it across, intended for Lokank again. Huron on the coverage, but once again, it's 3 and out.
You know, they had a tough one last week against Bolingbrook.
Oh, did they?
And there was a controversial call on a punt, and Providence got possession back and scored. It was a holding call on the defense, and they continued to drive and scored and ended up winning the ball game 17-14. And they played a little flat. Bolingbrook gave them a great game, but it seems to have continued with them. They just seem to be a step slow and a little flat emotionally.
Pat Flynn will punt. Mike Wilson standing on his own 30.
Nice kick.
Takes a Carmel bounce, goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Let's check in with Mitch. He's got someone who knows firsthand about that Bolingbrook Providence game, Coach Phil Acton.
That's right, Mike Lederman. We are with Phil Acton. And Phil, you've seen Providence play a better ball game, in fact, last week.
Yeah, they did, but right now they're fighting the battle of field position, and they're losing it. And this is probably the big difference in the game right now. When you're playing out of your own backyard, like they've had to do the whole ball game, their offense is struggling. And Mount Carmel's putting a lot of pressure stopping the run, and that's a bad combination.
A bad combination. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks. Saw Phil yesterday. He said, you know, another 50 seconds, I'd be playing in this game. Phil, you're right. Because he was playing in it a couple of years ago. As Bolden gets the call for Mount Carmel, gets up to the 40-yard line, gain of 6. The Chicago Sun-Times, the official newspaper of the IHSA State Championships. Remember, pick up your Chicago Sun-Times for complete coverage of all Illinois high school sports. 8:13 and ticking. 3rd quarter here. You're looking at Bolden, the sophomore, the senior, Ted Bolden. His spot had been taken by sophomore Dan Dorham, and Bolden was healing from the injury.
Oh, he's open.
Cozzie, and Bond has it picked off by Godfrey. And Mike Godfrey across midfield, looking for someplace to go. Head north. He does. Interception by Godfrey, brought down by Magaro and Gary Young, the 2 linemen. And Providence gets a break, a 14-yard interception. They don't get a break, they make a break.
He was wide open. This was 6. He's running a skinny post. He'll come right in your picture down here. Right there. That ball been delivered a lot sooner. You could see he had the defender beat. The ball is underthrown. And Mike Godfrey comes up with the interception, 5'11", 180-pound senior, and tries to make something happen here.
You know, Jack, you see when he lets the ball go, when Cozzie lets the ball go, there's a lot of air under it. It may have even slipped out of his hands at the last minute.
Combination of that, Mike, and the fact that he's thrown into a very strong wind.
1st and 10, inside Carmel territory. Kirby, got his man. What a great catch.
There's the momentum swing, starting to shift a little bit. The people over in the Providence stands are up off their seats now. There's a little excitement on the sideline for Providence. The kids are getting fired up.
26-yard reception for the backup fullback, Kevin Rigsby.
This is a great catch, throwing it right in the hole underneath the safety and between the 2 linebackers. Great call by the offensive coordinator for Providence.
Rigsby, who had a concussion earlier in the season, wearing that protective shell. But that's a big, big play for Providence. There's timeout on the field. 7:34 to go, third quarter. Mount Carmel's leading 14-0 the 5A championship, but Providence is driving. Two big plays back-to-back have given Providence some hope here, as Mount Carmel has been pitching a shutout until this interception.
Well, it's an underthrown pass that'll lead to it, thrown into a strong wind. Bond has him beat, underthrows it, and Mike Godfrey makes the interception. You can hear the crowd in the background. This is the flow right here, and right after a big change, they come in with a long bomb down the field to Rigsby. Good throw, great catch, and now the momentum is in the swinging side for Providence.
From the 21-yard line of Mount Carmel, the biggest threat so far for the Celtics. There is Jim Kirby, senior quarterback at 6'2", hands it off to Ruggio. And Justin Ruggio, fighting for every yard, takes it down close to the 15. And slow to get up.
He's very slow to get up.
Oh, that's not good. That is not good.
It's just a power play here with the guard pulling and kicking out on Schumacher right there.
You can see. They got the right leg. It looks like they got his right ankle as he went down.
There. There's right there. You can see the ankle getting caught, twisted underneath there. It's a great trap on Schumacher, who's been getting up the field. They run it up underneath him. And Ruggio, 205 pounds, with a great effort. Sometimes that foot doesn't give on that AstroTurf.
And that's another issue that these players aren't familiar with, the way the AstroTurf works or doesn't. Dan Colon, backup defensive back end, and you hope they can
he's
tape him up.
I think he'll be back in a play or two. And this is, as Frank Lenti had mentioned, that the half, we've only got 2 quarters of football left, and he doesn't look like he's limping too bad, so I think we'll see him again.
Well, usually if it's a sprained ankle, they can tape it, and the swelling doesn't, matter of fact, would benefit from the taping. You can't hurt it, so let's hope that's what it is.
Right here, you can see where the foot just gets twisted with about 3 or 4 defensive linemen on it.
All right, back to live action on 2nd down and 5. And this is Ruggio. Check it. This is Kevin Rigsby again. Derek Strong making the stop. Rigsby was in as the single back in the backfield. Dan Turney helping out.
Now we're in 2-down territory here. Providence has to, definitely, positively has to get some points out of this drive.
Brian Moody, number 25, is in the backfield. Along with Warren, that's Lokank in motion. They take it to the tailback. They look. And for Lokank, but out of bounds. Makes the catch, but way out of bounds. Defending was Timbers. And it's going to be a 4th down.
And this is the flood. The fullback is open right here. You can see number 44, but he goes for the deeper route, and he already comes down. It's a great catch, but you can see right there, he's out of bounds. Maybe the better choice would have been to go into the fullback and let him run with it.
Hey, it's high school football.
Crucial down now, 4th and 4.
4th and a long 4. Frank Lenti checking out his defense.
Go for the field goal.
Godfrey will be the man to kick it. Kirby will be the holder. And this will be a 35-yarder. With the wind, it is up, and it is good.
They needed those points desperately.
Well, they don't get the 6, but they do get the 3. And that is a personal best for Godfrey. Previously 32 yards. He has the 35-yarder here. So with 6:28 to go in the 3rd quarter, Providence is on the board. 14-3. Mount Carmel still with the lead. Matt Seffner.
He's not a happy camper at this point. He wanted to get 6 out of that drive. He was talking with his offensive lineman there, and he is not real thrilled with their performance thus far.
And of course the question is, will Justin Ruggio get back in? And tonight we'll have the 6A game right after this, or close to after this, starting at 7 o'clock on Sports Channel. Check it, Fox Sports Chicago Plus. Check your local listings to see what the channel number is, or call your cable operator. So we will have Wheaton Warrenville against Barrington for the 6A championship, a battle of undefeateds right here on Fox Sports Chicago, live on Fox Plus. There's the situation, top left corner, Mount Carmel leading now, but the lead has been cut to 11, 14-3, and Godfrey will kick it off for Providence. Smith, now it's Bond, 20. Bond across the 30-yard line, Shane Summers knocking him out of bounds. And Octavius Bond trying to break one. Getting to be about as frustrated as a one-armed man at a buffet. 5 plays, 32 yards, a minute 18 with the Godfrey 34-yard field goal, the first points of the day for the Celtics, the defending, 4-time defending state champion, Providence Celtics. Brad Cozzie brings his team out to the 31-yard line. And the give is to Smith. And the thing you have to like about Smith is that he always seems to have that second effort. Even when he's trapped, he'll make something out of it, even if it's just to get back to the line of scrimmage and avoid a loss.
Well, he really had to pick up the slack when Teddy Bolden got hurt early in the season. And he picked up the mantle and carried it. He carried Mount Carmel till Teddy was ready to go again. He picked up over 1,200 yards and 20 touchdowns.
Sideline from Mount Carmel telling Cozzie to get the play off. Only 10 seconds left on the play clock, the 25-second play clock. Bond in motion. Cozzie the pitch. Bolden gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it with Godfrey on the stop.
Great pursuit from the backside.
Brendan Cavanaugh joining as well.
As we look at the option, the corner comes up to force it. You can see the point of attack right here. The corner right there turns it in, and here comes Cavanaugh from the inside out to make the big hit. That's just the way you draw it up on the board. Corner come up, turn it inside, and the linebacker's coming on the squeeze from the inside out. Nice tackle.
And give Tony Olstead credit there, number 51, the middle linebacker, as well as Nick Passolano, number 76. There's your play clock ticking down on 3rd and 8. The play fake again, whipping it for Bond. And good defense by Godfrey. No flags, 4th down. Bond over the middle. But Godfrey was there as the ball got there.
That's a lot of pressure on Godfrey. He's got single coverage out there on Octavius Bond, who's a real speedster, but he plays him real tight defense right here. That's a great play. Gets his hands up at the same time. Mike Godfrey, 5'11", 180-pound senior. Nice job defensively.
Super timing on that play. Seffner looks on.
They must have great confidence in Godfrey to have single coverage against the player of Octavius Bond's ability.
On 4th and 8, Pietrovich will kick to Johnson. Brandon Johnson on his 31-yard line. Pietrovich gets it away. A nice kick. Drives him back to the 26. And Johnson taken down after a punt of 40 yards.
Carmel's doing a great job of covering those punts.
Andrew Curran on the stop.
Well, it's not bad field position, but it's not great field position for Providence.
So the Celtics are at their own 32-yard line. Let's see if Ruggio's back in. Yes, he is. He's got the ball. And he's got 8 yards.
I wish I could recover that fast.
Yeah. Justin Ruggio stopped by Turney and Timbers.
Now here the offensive line is doing what they've been doing all year. What they did is they fold blocked. The center blocked out, and the guard came around him up on the inside linebacker. And Ruggio just went right up the middle. That's been the strength of Providence's running game all year, and that was really the first play that they showed what they've done all year.
Johnson from the near side, and they hand it off to Ruggio again. He's got the first down. Brought down by Jeremy Wallace along with Brendan Curran. And Ruggio doesn't seem to be showing any effects, although there he gets up and he's limping.
That was a little counter where they pulled the tackle and made it. They want it to look like the last play where they pull the tackle. You can see, watch the line of scrimmage right here. You can see where they're coming off the ball, but they're coming off a little flat. They're not firing off the ball. They're more positioning. They're position blocking instead of firing off the ball. And this is what Matt Sefner's been upset about.
Good for a first down to the 43-yard line. Again, that is Brandon Johnson at the bottom of your screen. Lokank in motion, and they keep Ruggio working. Want to loosen that ankle up, and he gets about 3 yards. Schumacher on the stop. Clock under 4 minutes for the third quarter. Frank Lenti, as with these coaches, always teaching. You always teach these kids. You always teach your players.
Big adjustments during the game are like what Frank are making right now. Just little minor adjustments in the blocking scheme or the defense. That's what he's talking about, where the guy is, who he has to block. He's talking to the offensive lineman right now.
On second down, Lokank goes in motion. Kirby with the play fake and gets it to his receiver. And once again, it goes to Rigsby, brought down by Timbers, and the short passing game working here with Rigsby. He showed us some terrific hands on the last catch he made. This one a little easier, and it gets him some yardage.
Well, Dave Ernst right there, the gentleman right at the bottom of your screen, and the hat there is the offensive coordinator, and he's done a great job over the years at Providence. He's one of Matt Sefner's most reliable assistant coaches, and he's got a great offensive mind. And they move the ball around. They change formations and plays.
Hurry up offense here. A little tough time on the exchange, and Ruggio gets thrown for a loss. And it's Terrence Johnson, who had that knee and ankle problem, coming in and making that tackle for loss. That's his 5th.
You see right here, it's a miscommunication. The play was not supposed to be bouncing out this way, and you can see nobody blocked Terry Johnson, 255-pounder, and he's still hurting a little bit, but it's a state championship game. He's got all winter to rest.
Loss of 2. Lokank to the left, Johnson to the right. Straight back, and it's blocked, tipped away again, this time by Ted. Was it Johnson? Number 69 again. Yeah, it was.
Well, on that play, Jim Kirby audible to the initial defensive coverage, and just as he was about to snap the ball, they changed. Now here they made a switch here where Terrence Johnson comes out and deflects the ball, and the outside linebacker dropped off. That created the problem.
Got the big paw up there. 3rd down and 12. Johnson left, Lokank right. Lots of time, and it's complete to Ruggio coming out of the backfield, and Ruggio will be short of the first down. Timbers on the stop. Justin Ruggio making the catch, but well short of the first down.
And actually, the guy that was open was Lance Lokank, running it deep out. You'll see 2 receivers in this picture here as we go over here. The back coming out in the flat, and then the flanker is out right at the top of your screen, right as he's coming in right there. He was running the deep out, had the ball going to him, and he was open. He was 2 yards past the first down marker.
Timbers on the stop, and Terrence Johnson almost got that one too. So it's 4th and a bunch, and the punting unit is in. Flynn will kick it.
Good kick.
Headed for the Coffin corner. Huron is there. It goes out of bounds. What do they do? What's the call? It is a touchback.
No.
What's the
it's
call?
going to be on the 5-yard line. He goes down to make the mark. It's like 2 surveyors. The back judge lines him up, and then he makes the mark, and it went out on the 5-yard line. When you take geometry, when you draw those lines.
Is that what it is?
I had geometry several times.
I'm sure you did, all at the same level,
yes,
right?
Yes, usually during this kind of weather, very hot in summer school.
That's why you know the angles.
But the back judge lines it up with the line judge, and whatever angle it goes out on, that's how they spot it. If you notice, the line judge running there on an angle, and these officials know their responsibility to do a great job.
Well, a terrific punt by Flynn. So now on its own 5-yard line, Mount Carmel is in a bit of a pickle. Leading though, 14-3, and a whistle goes before the play does. Looks like a procedure penalty, or somebody jumped the snap.
We have a dead ball False start against the offense, 5 yards or half the distance, first down.
Well, while we've given a lot of airtime to Jerry Frump, we do want to make mention of a couple of the other officials in this team, Terry Piper and Mark Trella. Piper retiring after this game following a 29-year career. Mark Trella also retiring after 19 years. So our thanks to them for their hard work and congratulations to them. And we're going to miss them at the finals.
On behalf of all the coaches of the games that they've officiated, the players, we also thank them. They've done a great job and they've had a super career.
Half the distance is the penalty. And trying to wedge him out is Bolden. And Providence all over him. Nick Pasolano leading a host of Celtics. And Bolden barely getting back to the line of scrimmage. Dangerous territory here for Mount Carmel.
Well, what they're trying to do is milk this clock so they don't have to punt into this very strong wind that's picked up. Now they can milk the clock here and get a running play and maybe one more. Look at the change. Matt might call a timeout after this play to force them to possibly punt into the wind.
Under 50 seconds to go now on 2nd and 11. And again, they give it to the first back. It is Smith. Gets across the 5 to about the 7. And under 30 seconds to go. And they do take a timeout over on the Providence side. Coach, nicely done. That's why you're here and making the big bucks.
Well, honestly, I'd rather be down in the field making those calls than up here.
Let's go down to Mitch Robinson.
Thanks a lot. We're here with the assistant athletic director for Providence, Joe Rudigari, and his son, and also the head baseball coach. Do you ever get tired of having such great football teams?
Never. The kids work very hard. It's just like a machine, more or less, where the kids come to Providence to play good football, and the beat goes on. A lot of brothers play in the program, and there's a lot of last brothers going through at this game right now that are seniors. So the kids come to play football at Providence and hopefully win state championships.
Now, you've got a real vested interest. You've got half your baseball team out there right now. Anyone gets injured, it could cost you your season.
Oh, no, the kids are pretty tough. They'll have a couple months to recuperate if they get hurt.
And I'm sorry, I was supposed to ask you a question. I couldn't even hear it. But what consistency, such a high level, these guys. Is there any special key to your program that you guys just tap into?
It's the coaching staff. It's a huge part of it. They work very hard with the kids. It's one of the best coaching staffs I've ever seen in the state of Illinois. They work very hard during the off season in the weight room, and they're great teachers of the game. And it shows here that they're not giving up. It's 14-3. We keep them down here and get the ball back. You never know what might happen. But all the credit goes to the coaches, and the kids have a big part in it too.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck to you. Good luck in baseball. Back up to you guys.
26 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. On a 3rd down and 8, Mount Carmel on its own 8-yard line. Smith and Bolden, the backfield, along with Cozzie. And they give it to Smith again, who's trying to wind his way through.
I'd call another timeout here. I want them to cut into that wind. You might say, well, let's save him. You don't need to save him. You need field position.
Bowman and Pasolano on the tackles. And now the clock stopped at 19 seconds, and they do call another timeout on the Providence side.
They need field position here, and that's why they want to use those timeouts now. You say, well, you know, that 4th quarter, but they might not need them then if they don't make something happen here and get field position and get a good drive.
They'll only have one left.
Well, they still need to force them. This wind has increased since halftime, and they'll put pressure on them right here. I mean, they're going to come after this thing, which means that if they don't block it and pick up 6, he's going to be forced to get it off quickly, which is going to result in a shorter punt.
Pietrovich again takes his time punting the ball. Mount Carmel has not had a first down this quarter. The wind, you see, is blowing from the south to the north. They're looking north now, and we know that, Jack.
That's a big, heavy play.
Listen to Frank Lenti here.
All right, back on the bench. Let's go. We'll get the ball in the 4th quarter.
Always discipline. All right. Pietrovich back in his own end zone. 9 men up on the line. Sorry, Jack.
I'm sorry, Mike. The only thing that surprised me is Providence having one guy back, because you got a lot of territory to cover, and I want to get the ball. I'd have 2 guys deep just so we can get the ball and get a run back.
Well, they put the pressure on. Here he comes. They don't get it, though. Pietrovich gets it away, and nicely to the 45, Johnson. And Johnson will go down right there. Pat Ross, number 99, right on top of the play. So Mount Carmel does a fine job punting from the 8 down to the 49. It's a 40-yard punt, as they say.
Well, I'm sure that
35.
Matt was hoping for more than that with wasting, I don't want to say wasting, but using those 2 timeouts. He was hoping to get better field position than this.
Right. Well, Kirby will go to work here, still with 10 seconds left in the third quarter. The defense for Providence has shut down Mount Carmel. And now the offense, which has put 3 points on the board, needs more. Kirby with time. Looks, got his man. And in and out of the hands of Lokank, because Timbers came in and made a last-minute stab at the ball, and the ball was a little bit behind Lance Lokank.
A little bit behind him, but a catchable football. You can see right here, there's no play-action fake. He's trying to freeze number 4, the safety, and he's running a thin post right on the hash mark there. And he might have been thrown off a little bit with that defender running in front of him, but that ball was catchable.
Well, Wallace certainly blocked his view as he crossed in front of Lokank. So one more shot here with the wind for Providence. 2nd and 10 with 4 ticks on the third quarter clock. Kirby zips it across the middle. This time it's in and out of the hands of the tight end Curtin. So 2 balls that were there, and Curtin
That was pretty good coverage there. The linebackers dropped pretty deep because they knew Providence was going to go and throw the ball, so they got good depth in their drops, and the safety came up and squeezed along with the linebackers and made that happen.
All right, 2 plays have been big lifts for Mount Carmel. Providence will have 3rd down when we come back. They trail by 11, 1 quarter left in regulation. Back at the Illinois High School Association 5A Championship, Mount Carmel holding on to a 14-3 lead over Providence, the 4-time defending champions. Mike Liederman along with Jack McInerney, Mitch Robinson on the sidelines, Jim Angio and our Fox Sports Chicago crew in the truck and on the field. Hope you're enjoying this one as Providence trying to get something going here with 12 minutes left. Kirby, ball up in the air, and it was intercepted. Intercepted by Dan Casasanto, and Casasanto all the way down to the 25-yard line. A big turnover for Mount Carmel. 30 yards on the interception.
Trying to run a middle screen in here where they fake in here, and then the back is coming across right inside. You can see the lineman inside, and it's like deflected.
Derek Strong, I think, got a hand on there. Jack, and here's Casasanto going down.
You see right here, there's a deflection, throws it off the trajectory of the ball. Just going to be a very simple middle screen, and he's off to the races. That's a big turnover.
And Derek Strong is playing because Jake Sloan, the normal starter, has to sit out this game because of an ejection from the semifinal. So you know Derek Strong is going to remember this one. 2nd turnover of the game for Providence as Smith carries the ball for short yardage. 11 and a half minutes to go, and Frank Lenti breathing a little bit easier now.
I guarantee he'll breathe a lot easier if we can punch one more in. That was a big play.
Gain of 3. 2nd and 7. Bond to the left. They keep the ball on the ground one more time with Smith. And Jim Smith, they call him Steady Eddie. Why not? Does what he's supposed to do. Rarely makes a mistake. And we'll show you that flash of something special, something extra. There are his numbers today, 84 yards and 15 carries on the 2 touchdowns, one from 26 yards and one from the dive.
And those are 84 tough yards.
You bet.
That offensive line has done a great job up front. Their size has been very beneficial. They average 230 pounds. Young, Morfoot, and Dillon inside.
Gildine split out left, 2 receivers right. Cozzie, the pitch to Smith. Trying for the 1st down and has it and more. Smith close to the 10-yard line. Another big 1st down. Nick Lackey on the tackle.
Key to that play was the crackback block by the wide receiver that allowed him to get out in the perimeter. We'll watch Cozzie coming down the line, and he pitches right here. You can see the crack right there, and that allowed him to get the perimeter. He cuts back in. He gets some good blocks from his receivers downfield, and that results in a first down.
Closing in on a 100-yard day for Jim Smith. Ball down to the 12. And a 1st and 10, Mount Carmel. The pitch this time to Bolden. And Bolden is in. Touchdown, Mount Carmel. 12 yards. Ted Bolden just gets the corner of the end zone.
The key down right here was great discipline by Mount Carmel. The wide receivers stayed on their blocks and blocked those defensive backs, and they just stayed with them till the defender got there. Here's the dive fake. Here's the pitch. Now watch the defensive backs. They're all locked down right there. That's the key for these long runs. They just don't give up. They don't stop blocking until they hear the whistle. And there's 6 points.
Finding the pylon for Bolden. Touchdown number 14 on the season. And Pietrovich will try for point number 21. It's up, it's good. Now with 9 minutes 54 seconds to go, following the interception, Mount Carmel has opened up some daylight here as night falls. 21-3.
Everybody has a responsibility when you're running the option as far as who you're blocking. The dive fake there is supposed to freeze. And right here, he pitches the ball, and everybody else downfield has an assignment, and they're all doing their job, and that's why it results in 6 points for Mount Carmel. Very well executed from a very well-disciplined team.
Well, if he got in, it was very, very close, but that's all that matters. 3rd touchdown of the day for the Caravan, following the interception. 4 plays, 27 yards, under 2 minutes, and Ted Bolden's 12-yard run has put this game in a tough straits for Providence.
You know, it's kind of interesting, that halftime interview that we had with Matt Seffner. He just didn't seem as if the kids were up to the task. He wasn't happy with how the kids were playing with their emotions, and certainly Matt has a tremendous record at Providence. He's one of the winningest coaches in the state of Illinois history. He's done a great job at Providence, and he had a sense that the kids just were not emotionally ready to play. And unfortunately, it's carried over into the second half.
Pietrovich booms this one.
That's adrenaline right there.
Well, we told you he had also, it's a nice 15-mile-an-hour wind. Yeah, we told you that he is known for.
And the old square toe.
Yeah, the old, I tell you, he is such a throwback. Yeah, the old square-toed shoe. If you go back, I guess as far as some of us go back, Jack, you remember not only Tom Dempsey, but kickers like Luke Groza for the Browns and Ben Agajanian.
I've seen movies on him, Mike.
Oh, stop it, Jack. You were there in the stands with me. And Roger LeClaire for the Bears. Those Gogolaks, they just changed everything.
Traditions die hard.
9:54 to go. Providence from the shotgun. Kirby shoots it across, and that one is intercepted again. Tipped up and intercepted by Robert Richardson, the cornerback. For Richardson, a 3-year starter. That's his pick. And Mount Carmel is just piling it on.
You know, what's interesting, the shot of Mount Carmel's fans erupting the excitement, and we're across the stadium. And as soon as this ball is intercepted, Providence, you could drop a coin over in the stands over there and hear it hit. This is a big, big turnover right here. Great concentration picking that off.
Well, give Casasanto kudos for tipping it in the air. And then the interception. Here is Cozzie looking. They're going.
Ooh, interference.
And that was almost picked off by Godfrey. We get a flag here. On the intended receiver, but Bowman and Godfrey converged, and we'll see what the flag is. It would seem to be pass interference.
Well, it's kind of an interesting route. They cleared out with the outside man. They brought Bond around, and right here you can see the interference right there. Now, if he'd been looking back for the ball, it'd be a different story because they were both going for it, but he wasn't, and that resulted in the interference call.
It will go against Bowman, Ben Bowman of Providence.
Officials have done an excellent job.
See the penalty
We have
situation.
defensive pass interference, automatic first down, 15 yards. Penalties for illegal face guarding.
Well, really what that is, he never turned back for the ball. You have to turn back and look for the ball, or other words, it's illegal face guarding or interference.
And of course, unlike the pros, you don't get the penalty at the spot of the foul. It's 15 yards and an automatic first down. So first and 10 from the 28. Once again, it's Bolden. And Bolden to the 10. Bolden to the 5. Snowed underneath. Bolden has just erupted here. And he takes it inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. The Carmel cheerleaders.
Very excited young ladies right there. They see another state title in their grasp. Well, Bolden's been under wraps coming into this ball game with a very tender ankle, but you can see how well he's doing right there. Just ran a little draw down to the 4-yard line.
Almost 800 yards last year and 7 touchdowns this year, missing a couple of games, still had 900 yards. And here we go from the 6-yard lines where they spot it, and Bolden gets down to the 3, and the clock continues to tick away. What I liked about what Lenti did, what Frank Lenti did, they weren't going to sit on the ball. They just went right for him. It wasn't a question of piling it on. This game is still to be decided, and instead of running a couple of ground plays, they just went right to the air.
Well, they have the advantage in the offensive line. They average 231 pounds, whereas Providence's defensive line averages 195. So physically, it's kind of a mismatch up front.
From the 3. And Cozzie lost his footing, and he is down. Let's check in with Mitch Robinson.
Hey guys, before the turnover, Frank Lenti came over to his team after the last touchdown and said, 1 drive, 1 score, and we win the state title. It's in fact what they're trying to do. But he did actually get all over Bolden on the touchdown and said, hey, protect the ball when you run with it. So he's never letting up on his players. Back to you.
Yeah, you're right, Mitch. Bolden does carry that ball like the proverbial loaf of bread, swinging it out away from his body.
You can see one of those rings on Frank's fingers. He's got a lot of state championship rings.
Wilson to the left, Bond to the right. On 3rd down and goal from the 2. Smith. He's in. Touchdown, Caravan. 3rd touchdown of the evening now for Jim Smith. Exactly 8 minutes on the clock.
Just this offensive line. Watch a surge right there coming off the ball. All they're doing is veer blocking, which means they're all blocking down inside and wedging out the defensive line, and the running back just goes right in behind him with that surge for a yard and a touchdown. Again, they're 231 pounds up front and 195 pounds on the defensive line, so they have the advantage.
Sean Dillon, Gary Young, Joe Morefoot all opening up the hole. And Pietrovich for point number 28.
Got a roughing call, so they'll take that penalty and the point and mark it off in the kickoff.
For a 240-pound guy or so, Pietrovich certainly is light on his feet when he has to fall down.
Lou Groza wasn't too shabby.
That's true. 28-0, 28-3 the score right now.
Watch the offensive line. They all block in towards the center. Everybody's wedge blocking, and he just gets in behind them in that surge to get across the line of scrimmage. Great job up front by that entire offensive line of Miller, Young, Morefoot, Dillon, and Megaro. They average 230 pounds. I think you or I could have scored on that one, Mike.
Well, you might have. I don't know. Well, we have a minute. Want to thank our spotters today. Of course, Brian Dyer and Ken Morissette from Providence.
Penalized on the kickoff.
And Howie Zelenka from Mount Carmel. Yeoman work. Actually, there was more bouncing around in the booth here. We have a little booth, and everybody is pointing and spotting, and that's terrific. We really appreciate the help from the schools as well as from our buddy Brian Dyer. And
you know, this really is. These are two of the strongest football programs in the state of Illinois over the last 10 or 20 years, and certainly even in the country. They really have excellent programs, super coaches, and they're both all-boys school, I believe.
Well, they've got 700 boys at Mount Carmel, about 200 going in the football programs at all the levels. 5 plays, 57 yards. Again, a minute 46 following the interception with Smith's touchdown.
I think Providence went co-ed several years ago, and Mount Carmel hasn't had to make that change yet. But 2 excellent football programs.
Well, Mount Carmel won a title under Bill Bars back in 1980. And then when Frank Lente took over, they have won 5 more, looking for 6 for a total of 7. Yes, I know I can do the math, but that certainly is important because it would make them the co-leader at most state championships in the history of this 25-year competition.
Well,
what's the 25th year? Silver anniversary? Is that what it is? Silver anniversary.
I believe it is.
That's what Brian Dyer said. Okay. Have to check with our statistics man, David Berkson, too.
Well, you know, one of the reasons why Mount Carmel has been so successful is Frank Lente has had the same staff for all these years. His brother Dave Lente runs the defense. Tom Shulo, Don Sebastian, Bill Nolan, Mark Antonetti, Pete Kamholz. They've been with him for years and years and do a great job.
Kickoff is bounced along the AstroTurf, picked up by Brent Mackey, one of the up men, brought down by Dan Turney. And Providence now will try to make this respectable.
You know, at one point I told Sefner and Frank Lente, who are good friends, I told them both when they both retire they should open up a jewelry store and start selling all the rings that they have won in the championship games.
Kirby hands it off. Short yardage for Ruggio. Clock ticking now at under 8 minutes to go. There's Ruggio, number 11, continuing to play after having his ankle twisted several different ways. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Receivers right and left. Kirby looking. Kirby in trouble. And you know who brings him down. Terrence Johnson again.
Johnson certainly recovered from that slight twisted ankle.
2nd sack of the night.
Playing defensive tackle. 254 pounds of agility right here. He can really move. He's got great feet. Terrence Johnson, a senior, 6'1", 254, showing a little emotion right there.
Had a rehab a knee earlier. Had that little ding in the first half. And now a 3rd and 15. And the draw gets very, very little. They give it to Rigsby. Strong and Turney on the stop of Kevin Rigsby. And it's 4th down, clock ticking, ticking, ticking down to the 6-minute mark.
You know, it's really tough that the game kind of has turned out to be a little lopsided like this, because when they played before earlier in the season, in the 8th game of the year, it was an overtime win for Mount Carmel, and both teams played very well. They're both excellent programs, and it's kind of disappointing, I guess, for Providence that they're really not playing as well as they're capable of playing. And probably, you know, Mount Carmel is part of contributing to that, but
more than a little bit.
Yes.
Flynn gets the kick away. Coming over to Wilson's side here, and it will be down at the 44-yard line. So 28-3. We've got 5:41 to go before we officially crown a Class 5A champion. Certainly looks like Mount Carmel right now. 28-3 the score. Mount Carmel running away with the 5A championship. By the way, for those of you tuning in to see the Kevin O'Neill Show here on Fox Sports Chicago, stay tuned. It will be seen in its entirety following our coverage of the game. That's its, I-T-S, no apostrophe, in its entirety.
You are such a linguist.
Not only that, Mike Liederman, Jack McInerney, Mitch Robinson, bringing you our 5th of 6 live state championships here from Hancock Stadium at ISU, Illinois State. Mount Carmel trying to ice down championship number 6. And a quick handoff. Number 7, how could I forget? 6 under Frank Lenti.
Frank's had a great career. He's been in this title game 7 times. This is the 8th time he's been in it. He's won 5. He's come in second twice.
And you look at Matt Steffner, they have never lost a title game, or at least before
6-0 in the championship games. 31 years. Incredible. It's just one. Frank's got a little jewelry compartment at his house.
On second down, clock ticking down to 5 minutes. Cozzie. And Cozzie trying to stay in bounds, and he does, as he gets first down yardage. Interesting about Cozzie, and you talk about the ability of coaching, not only to develop talent, but to find it. Cozzie was a basketball player and started his football career at Mount Carmel as a defensive back. And last year in spring practice or whatever, I don't know exactly when it happened, but Frank Lenti said, you know, this kid has got the ability to lead. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but he's got good feet. He's got a good mind. And an injury to the then first-string quarterback by the name of Mike Colleen gave Cozzie the opportunity. He's taken the most of it. Now Colleen, although he's been fighting injuries himself, is a senior and second string. Cozzie is a junior. He'll be back next year. And right now, he's being wrapped up by Nick Miles.
Well, one of the most successful Mount Carmel quarterbacks right now is vying for the Heisman Trophy.
Yes,
Donovan McNabb at Syracuse, coached by Frank Lenti here. And at the time, Donovan McNabb really, they didn't run him as much as Syracuse does because he had a couple of great backs with him, but he played quarterback at Mount Carmel for Frank Lenti.
Now, what a tremendous story he's turned out to be.
Great athlete.
1991.
How can you remember those dates and you forget my birthday?
You promise not to tell. And Cozzie across the 30. Very quiet on the sideline for Providence. Very dejected bunch. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's time for the high fives. Well, maybe not quite yet, but pretty darn close.
You know, for years and years, people talked about why these two programs have never played each other. And because they're perennial state champs for the last 10 years in and out. And this year was the first year, in the 8th game of the year, they end up going into overtime to play. And now here they are playing for the state championship in the same year.
Third down play. Cozzie the play fake. Looks going for it all to his tight end, Gildine. And in and out of the hands of Joe Gildine. And that one had 6 written on it, and Cozzie knew it.
Kind of surprised. We could have had a flag there. It was a little push off there at the end. Little play action fake here. Not a great one, a little pump fake. Might be able to see the little push off right here at the end. Just a little push off right there.
By Batain. And Cozzie, yes, yes, yes. No.
No. Oh. They'll talk about this in the offseason. I laid it right in your hands and you dropped it.
Under 3 minutes to go on a 4th and 8. We're going to have a 44-yard field goal here with the wind. Pietrovich, it'll be his long, and it's got the distance. It is up. It is just off to the right. So Pietrovich gave it a ride from 44 yards away. Boy, that would have been some icing. Well, Pietrovich got another year to hit one of those. He'll be back next year as a senior.
Good shot there, the coaching sidelines of Mount Carmel, the staff that Frank has had with him for many years. His brother runs the defense. His brother has done a great job for him over the years. Dave Lenti is the defensive coordinator. Great solid program on both sides of the field.
And when you talk about excellent programs, you certainly have to give credit. And there's certain things you also have to note too. Almost intercepted, taken down by Dan Colomb, the backup cornerback, who actually made the catch but came down out of bounds. And I know a lot is made of this, and there is some validity to it. The ability to draw students from different areas to a school certainly has a lot to.
Well, you know, the taboo word of recruiting. But,
I didn't use that word.
I know, but you don't. You know, Catholic schools need to do that to stay in existence. They recruit athletes, but they're also obviously very good students academically.
Second down. And here's the give. Ruggio still battling. And he gets about 5 yards. Remember, coming up at 7 o'clock, another big one. Wheaton-Warrenville South against Barrington. The 6A title. We'll have it for you live starting at 7 again on Fox Sports Chicago Plus. So if you're looking for it on your regular Fox Sports Chicago channel, it won't be there. But check with your cable company or look it up in the newspapers to find out the channel in your area, and we will have quite a show for you. A couple of undefeateds, Wheaton-Warrenville going against Barrington, and we've heard so much about Wheaton-Warrenville. You know all about them. Air show par excellence. Looking for a third championship in 4 years. Barrington trying to mess up the party when it's first. 2 minutes exactly left. And not much mustard on that, intended for Ruggio. And down goes Kirby again. Looks like Derek Strong came in and tattooed Jim Kirby one last time, or one more time.
You know, it really is interesting when you get a game like this where it's kind of a lopsided game, and Providence did not play as well, obviously, as they expected to do. But last week they kind of had a flat game. I mean, obviously Phil Acton and Bolingbrook had a lot to do with it, but they didn't play real good last week either.
17-13, Bolingbrook coming up on the short end, but they led with 1 minute to go, and then that penalty on the punt.
Providence was punting, and they got a penalty, and they kept the drive alive, and they scored. And that's not to take anything away from Mount Carmel. These are obviously two great high school football teams and programs. But tonight, Providence just didn't seem to have the zip that they've had before.
Now, you know, we noticed that when we were talking to them and watching them in the pregame, when they were dressing in the locker rooms, talking to Matt Seffner about it. And of course, it's tough to get to read teams. But you've been around this game a long time at the high school level, Jack, and you sensed it as well as I.
We talked about it earlier. You know, you know the coaches are ready. The coaches are fired up, but it's, you know, you never know the emotions of a 15, 16-year-old kid, how they're going to react.
Well, mass substitutions coming in from Mount Carmel. We'll try to pick them off for you to let everybody know. 84 is Matt Ahern. And we'll see who's going to quarterback. They're going to go with Mike Colleen, number 12. You saw him come into your picture for the final minute 46. And there is your Pepsi player of the game. Got to be Jim Smith. There are his numbers. 3 touchdowns, 19 rushes for 108 yards. And obviously did what he had to do and got so much help from his teammates. And he is our Pepsi player of the game. And right there we had whistles all over the place as a lot of folks came across the line.
Well, here comes the proverbial dousing of the coach.
I'm glad they went to water if they have to do this at all. First of all, it's warm. Second of all, it's not sticky.
And Frank probably has his Gore-Tex coat on, so he's all prepared.
And you'll probably get one in the mail tomorrow from those folks.
You know, I work with Frank in the off-season running several football clinics in the Chicago area. He's a great guy to work with. Of course, Matt Seffner's another super guy.
And the give is to the sophomore, Don Dorham. Minute 35 and counting. Dorham started a few games when Bolden was injured. Rushed for 525 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Most of the guys that'll be doing the dousing, I'll guarantee you, will be seniors.
Yes.
The juniors,
they won't have to face Frank next year.
Part of this has to go. Frank has got a great staff working with him. And he's the first one to compliment them continuously on the efforts that they put forth.
Dorham again. No, this is not Dorham. This is, yes it is, Don Dorham. And he gets first down yardage and more. It's really moot now. Pat McInerney. I know he's no relation, Greg.
That is true, but there's a ring to that name.
Absolutely.
These kids are shaking in their boots. Should we? Shouldn't we?
Well, I can hear Jim Angio playing that theme music from Jaws.
Or how many credits do you need to graduate? One of those kind of themes. Frank's a good guy.
This is one of these traditions that I have my own thoughts on that I will keep to myself. Final seconds. And a carry for number 30, Tim Crowley. Crowley, a junior, 5'9".
Oh, Frankie.
Okay. You know, I think Frank honestly thought he could avoid it.
I think he did too. He's soaked right now.
Yeah, that's probably the worst call all day. Son of a gun.
They're letting the clock go. Great job by Mount Carmel.
There it is. It's over. And over really in a cakewalk.
The string ends for Providence. 4 straight, going for their 5th straight championship, and it's over.
28-3. Once again, our thanks to all our help from our spotters from Providence and Mount Carmel. Matt Seffner and Frank Lente, they certainly know each other well. Their coaching staffs know each other well. Congratulations all around. Certainly seasons for both to be proud of, but an especially sweet win in this matchup for Frank Lente and the Caravan of Mount Carmel. They had never met in the regular season before October. So much for next year's game plan right there. That's why they wrap those things, you know, in plastic. Frank Kiska, longtime aide. Matt Seffner.
Matt's had a great career. 31 years at Providence. And
there is Mr. Smith. Well, awards coming up. That man has already got one from us. And we'll be back with post-game activities here in Normal. Jubilation on the field from the Mount Carmel team and its supporters as the Caravan winning its 7th state title in the 25-year history of the IHSA tournament. Frank Lente his 6th. And what a scene. And over on the other part of the field, Providence, there is Brad Cozzie, the quarterback. Providence, of course, getting together. It is a team sport. You win as a team, you lose as a team, and they have a lot to be thankful for, as well as a lot to think about what might have been.
Well, it was actually a well-played game. The score doesn't indicate that, but I don't think it had the drama that we had in that first game of overtime, and people anticipated that and expected that, and for some reason, Providence came out and was a little flat. Matt Seffner talked about it, but they never could recover from that initial 14 points in the first half.
This game had as much hype to it, pardon me, as just about any athletic event on the pro, college, or high school level. This is all people were talking about as the season, you know, progressed. And when these two teams met and it was so close during the regular season, wow, it's going to be a championship matchup. It is going to be something special. It's tough for any game to live up to that hype, certainly with high school kids.
Well, absolutely. With high school kids 15, 16 years old, you ask them to give a repeat performance of what they did before. It's very difficult to do that. To get them hyped up, that they break up with their girlfriend over the weekend, all kinds of different emotions go on. And when you play a game of this magnitude for the state championship, and they talked about the game of the decade early on, it goes to overtime. Mount Carmel wins. Now they got to do it again. It was a tough game for Providence.
Well, you would think it might be tougher for Mount Carmel to beat a team twice in a situation like this when they're both so highly rated, sometimes 1 and 2, depending on where you put Wheaton Warrenville South. There is Matt Seffner getting his medals. His team will be decorated, and the trophy will go into the Providence trophy case. It wasn't the one they wanted, but a lot of schools would love to trade places with the folks in New Lenox right now.
Well, Matt's done a great job with the Providence program. He's a little dejected right now. He's never come in second. He's won 6 title games. He's 6-0 in the title game, and now he's 6-1. A great career, 31 years at Providence. And it's a tough loss now, but in a few days, they'll recover.
And chances are they'll be back, if not here, then very close to the finals again next year. 4 straight championships, going for a record-setting 5th, coming up short. But what a record this team has put together and this school has put together.
You know, it was really kind of interesting. They really couldn't get their offense opened up. For whatever reason, they really shut them down. And Matt made the comment at halftime that their offensive line really wasn't coming off a ball. Well, it could be a combination of the effort that the defensive line of Mount Carmel was putting forth.
Well, you have to give Mount Carmel credit, of course. And when you talk about things to change or things to adapt, you don't have to make many changes. You mentioned this because the game was so close. You saw right away that Mount Carmel, after the one long Providence drive, had the dominance. And now, there they are, the Caravan, Octavius Bond and company, getting their medals. And what a year this has been for Frank Lenti on a personal level. It's been so tough for him. Just a few days ago, his mother-in-law passed away. His mom passed away a few months ago, I believe. And, you know, it's one thing to come back from those personal tragedies and get your own act together, but to motivate 65 or 70 players, let's hear it for Frank.
Well, Frank has done a great job. It was a very emotional year for him in a lot of different ways, and he's responded, and you know, they've done a great job. They've just got a tremendous program there.
He had a tough row to hoe when he first took this job. Bill Barrs, certainly a coach with many, many kudos. He had a state championship in the first few years of this tournament. And Frank Lenti has stepped in, and of course the Lenti family, known athletically around the Chicago area. There's Jim Smith, the latest outstanding running back in the Mount Carmel tradition.
You know, so many people talk about getting to the state championship game, and to get here 9 times. Mount Carmel's been in the state championship game 9 times. They've come in second twice, and now they've won the title again. It's just an incredible feat.
14-3 at halftime. A couple of touchdown runs by Smith, and then a field goal made it 14-3. Third quarter was the big issue for Providence, but they only put 3 points on the board. And then a couple of touchdowns in the fourth quarter put the game away, and turnovers a big issue. We'll be back to wrap things up here at the 5A Championships. Remember, 6A is coming up on Fox Sports Plus. Right now, we'll take a break from normal.
All right, welcome back. We're here with the winning head coach, Frank Lenti, and his 5A state champion team. You already lost a tee off the award, but is this as sweet as all the rest?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. These kids have given Providence Catholic 2 of their 3 losses in the last 5 years. And I think that makes a statement as to just how good these kids are and our program is. And they have a lot to be proud of.
All season long, you've watched them progress. Did you know that these kids could do it when they had to?
You know, we felt all year long that we had a great team coming in. You know, the question was going to be, could we find a guy that could pull the trigger? You know, we knew Mike was going to be hurt with a bad shoulder most of the year. We asked Brad, who's a DB, to step in and progress and get better. And today he did a great job running the option, throwing the ball. And nobody wins a state championship without a quarterback who can get the job done. Our kids up front on both sides tonight dominated the game. For the last 5-6 weeks, we were tired of hearing about the first time was a fluke. We wanted to make sure people knew tonight was no fluke.
You're one of the most intense coaches I've ever seen. Do you finally get a chance to relax now?
Oh, sure, I'll relax tomorrow.
And then start thinking about next season?
No, I'm going to enjoy this for a long, long time. This is a great group of kids, and they work hard, and they got everything they deserve. They deserve to be the #1 team in the state of Illinois.
Congratulations, Frank Lenti and the whole Mount Carmel team. Hey, Mike, Jack, back to you.
All right, Mitch, I hope you can fight your way out of there. Looks like fun. Actually, our congratulations to Frank Lenti, and you know what he says, how much it means to him as well as his team because of his responsibility to his team.
Well, you know, Frank's a special guy. A lot of people don't know him as well as I do on a different scene than the football scene, and he's really a special guy. He's really a great, great human being.
All right, we've got a big one coming up. A couple of undefeateds. Wheaton Warrenville South against Barrington. That'll be on Sports Channel, on Fox Sports Chicago, Plus. I'll hear about that one when we get back. Meanwhile, that'll be at 7 o'clock. For now, well, call your local cable system for the correct channel number to get the 6A game. For Jack McInerney and Mitch Robinson, I'm Mike Lederman saying so long from Hancock Stadium, where the 1998 Illinois 5A IHSA champion Mount Carmel 28-3 over Providence. Stay tuned for the Kevin O'Neill Show next on Fox Sports Chicago. The preceding has been a presentation of Fox Sports Chicago and Intersport Television. So long, everybody. We'll see you real soon.